was reportedly put in the bye-bye box after weeks of being sleepy all the time and never finishing his din-din. Family had come in from all over to watch Daddy get dropped inside a cool underground fort full of dirt and sand, where he'll be tonight instead of being home to play Chutes and Ladders.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can take control of the airwaves by dialing toll-free to join us here. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We also have the Discord call-in line rooms. They're over at discord.lrn.fm, so feel free to jump on into one of those if you like. And you can take control of the airwaves to bring up what you want. Last night on the show, nobody, you were on that particular episode of the program. Y'all started the show out by talking about the founder and longtime CEO of Defense Distributed, Cody Wilson. Mm-hmm. But then the show got off on a different track relatively quickly with just a load of callers calling about the corrupt court system, family law, horror stories, things like that. And I don't think, at least according to Chris Reitman, who is also hosting, I don't think y'all really got into the story about Cody Wilson in any meaningful fashion. So I think we should do that because this is a pretty big story.
He's certainly interesting.
He's back.
Yeah.
After basically taking a guilty plea in regards to the alleged sexual assault case, which, I'm sorry, I don't think it's sexual assault if the person was consenting, even if she was 16 at the time. The story here from the Washington Free Beacon. Gun rights activist Cody Wilson has told the Washington Free Beacon he's returning to the company he founded, Defense Distributed, a company that manufactures machines that make gun parts after striking a deal in his sex crime case. Wilson said he was invited back by Paloma Heindorf, who had taken over the company about a year ago, just over a year ago, after Wilson was arrested for paying an underage girl for sex. He also, by the way, he thought the girl was 18.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because she had a profile on a site that only allows people who are 18 and up to have profiles. Of course, the only way they would know is simply by the person simply like self-verifying that I'm over 18. So he had no reason to believe she was under the age of 18. There was never any allegation that like there was a chat between them, right? They did chat, and they did, share pictures and whatever in advance of their actual meetup. But it's not like at any point during that conversation she told him, "Oh, by the way, I'm only 16." That didn't happen. Those were never alleged. That was never claimed in this case. But yet he was somehow supposed to know that she was under the age of, I'm sorry, in Texas it's under 17. So 17 is legal, 16 is not. So
it basically would have been legal in a lot of places like New Hampshire.
Correct.
Even a couple of years ago, I think they tried to some people tried to increase the age, and overwhelmingly it was
they struck it down.
Yeah, because it's believe it or not, the majority, at least in New Hampshire and in at least some other states, a bunch of other states, don't think that 16-year-olds can't consent. They think 16-year-olds can consent.
Thank goodness.
Yeah,
it's going to keep a lot of people out of jail.
It's misleading though, because a lot of places, a lot of media, people express outrage on it, and it's the reality is that's not the majority opinion. It's just we're overwhelmed by this minority.
There's a certain loud minority.
Yeah, a certain loud minority. And so people, they get persecuted.
Regardless, Wilson, of course, was persecuted in this particular case. He luckily can afford some attorneys, I imagine.
Not that they did much good, probably.
Well, they got him a deal.
Sure, but he
didn't go to prison.
That was more navigating the legal system than actually getting him off on anything. It's not like
so here's the thing with attorneys.
Do a whole lot as far as
I think that's where you're wrong. Here's the thing with attorneys, right? And I'm not a fan of most attorneys in general.
Yeah.
I think the profession is incredibly corrupt. But usually it's at a good old boys network, and they all know each other to some extent. They all go to the same hangouts in a lot of cases. Now, obviously, Austin is a much bigger city than somewhere like Keene. in Keene, absolutely every attorney knows every other attorney, right? In Austin, you probably see the same ones fairly often. You may not intimately know them, but and the one thing you really can't do with court cases is compare apples to apples. You can't, if you get arrested, and you have been, we all have been,
not
for civil disobedience.
Not for any kind of sexual.
No, for civil disobedience.
Yeah.
But if you get arrested and you take a case to court by yourself versus take that same case to court with an attorney, well, you don't get to live both lives, so you don't know exactly how it would have gone in one way versus the other. You only get to pick one way.
Sure.
But there's a strong argument that if you hire the attorney, that he'll get you a better deal than you would be able to get on your own. Now, there's no way to prove that, but...
Yeah. Well, the deal that Wilson got, I mean, for the situation was pretty good. I mean, he's not going to end up...
He avoided prison.
8 years hence with a... well, not just that, but once he completes the terms, he's going to end up not being a felon.
Correct. And he'll get off the sex offender list in that case.
Right, and he'll have a right to keep and bear arms again, so... Or that right will be respected again. So
exactly.
That makes a huge difference.
The whole idea that this was a good deal, I mean, I understand where you're coming from. His system is so messed up, but it seems far from ideal situation.
Well, the whole thing is a raw deal.
What do you compare it to?
Yeah, the whole thing's a raw deal.
Well,
it's better than
not existing in the first place.
Well, yeah, but you don't have that option.
The attorneys can't do that. They can't wave a wand and make the law go away.
Right.
I mean, they screwed him over. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
They ruined a year plus of his life while he was, because whenever you get charges hanging over your head, it's hard to really want to do anything because you don't know what's going to happen in your life. You don't want to just open a new business or, make major changes or whatever because you could just be thrown in prison. In his case, he was facing a couple of decades, I think at least, in prison here. And so when given an opportunity to not have a felony after 7 or 8 years, I think it is, and not have any prison time, you can't blame somebody for taking that deal. That looks pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
the thing that concerns me though about him returning to DD is his agreement includes monitoring of all the computers and internet connected devices that he has access to.
That's right.
So the question is, does that give the feds access to all the computers that Defense distributed?
Well,
probably not. It would only be the computers that he has physical access to. So as long as they, don't give him physical access to it, it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard that he's going to be taking back over his old role, but I haven't actually gotten through the whole story yet.
Okay.
Maybe he'll have like a secretary do all his work for him on the computer. Maybe he can do things without.
We don't even know how much computer use he was using, prior to this either. So
at least for to run his job or to do his job, I don't know. I mean, clearly he was a computer guy, right? Like he definitely knew about technology, and I'm sure spent a lot of time on it. But Wilson's return, according to the Free Beacon, will put him back at the center of the legal battle over homemade firearms and just how far the Second Amendment protections extend. He has for years now been seen at the center of several lawsuits seeking to curtail the distribution of firearms blueprints online, meaning his company was sued by the federal government to prohibit him and Defense Distributed from distributing these files. He became successful in that particular case, by the way, and I believe that injunction was removed. His new brainchild will produce finished gun parts for popular firearms like the AR-15 and 1911 using basic templates and raw materials, but will work faster than previous models because they were already on Ghost Gunner 2, so it sounds like they're going to have a third edition coming soon. And it'll also manufacture steel AK-47 parts as well. Wilson told the Free Beacon in an interview, quote, "It's got twice the build volume. It supports the AK-47 now. It has a variable frequency drive. It's a totally different animal. Pre-orders for they're calling it the Ghost Gunner 3 began this week."
So, here's a question. What's happening with the other court cases? Doesn't he have like a bunch of state attorneys that went after him?
That's a good question. I'm not sure about that one. I think he sued back. I feel like he countersued in the federal case. But
I don't recall there ever being any updates to that. But I mean, these court cases take forever, so I don't know. Maybe it's just it's still ongoing.
That's a darn good question, and one that probably deserves a little bit of research. If you want to poke around, you're welcome to see what you can find. Maybe you know more than we do about these things. Maybe you follow this really closely, and you want to jump in to share your thoughts on the latest with Defense Distributed, the company that has shaken up all things homemade guns. And there's a lot of people who are not so happy about that. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, and I'm sure those people are not happy that Cody Wilson is coming back to the front of the organization, which is very
it's like
cool.
giving him the finger.
Pleasant surprise, I gotta say. It's Free Talk Live.
Divvy is crypto made easy. Anyone can use Divvy to securely and seamlessly spend, earn, store, or exchange digital money, the US dollar, and euros. Divvy is fast. Transactions happen in seconds with fewer fees. While other altcoins are languishing, the Divvy price has risen substantially against BTC. Now's the time to make a switch to Divvy or make your start with cryptocurrency with Divvy. Visit DivvyProject.org. Divvy is crypto made easy. Plus one-click masternodes. DivvyProject.org. Again, DivvyProject.org. Acapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th. Visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block, and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful.
Healthy and shiny and glossy. DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dynavite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies,
grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it,
and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dynavite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic.
And Cindy Lukasevic.
Inviting you and your pets to Dynavite.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
So, Shelby, let's start with you. You say that our bogs and marshes should actually be paved over.
That's right. Absolutely, Brooke. These things are nothing but dead body dumping pits that make life easy for murderers. And it's disgusting to me that sickos like Mr. Popkin actually want to protect these things.
All right, well, Mr. Popkin, how do you respond to this?
Bogs and marshes are important ecosystems that should be protected. I mean, they're already being endangered.
Whoa, excuse me. As long as these human landfills remain open for business, what we're essentially saying to the criminal element is, sure, do whatever you like, and throw the evidence here in this federally protected black hole.
I testified before Senator Chuck Grassley, who wanted to lift federal protection on these lands, and what I told him is exactly what I'm going to tell you now.
And where is Chuck Grassley right now, sir? Could it be that he's sitting at the bottom of a bog somewhere? Why else would you be so hot on these wetlands if you aren't a murderer yourself?
This is the Onion News Network.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can take control of the airwaves here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Want to make sure you know about Edge Wallet if you would like to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold various cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, various tokens on the Ethereum blockchain, Monero, Ripple, Stellar, and a bunch more. Get on over to edge.app to learn about the Edge Wallet. I just used mine within the last hour here in Keene to pay for my meal at a local bar that accepts cryptocurrency. It is super easy to use. It's user-controlled, meaning you control your own money with Edge. They don't have access to it. You can secure your freedom with Edge. Go to edge.app, learn more about it, or just go straight to your Play Store or Apple Store and download it for iOS or Android devices. It's Edge Wallet. As we continue here with you tonight, you've got Ian.
Nobody.
And Chris.
Defense Distributed is bringing back Cody Wilson after he had spent the last year plus defending himself or attempting to defend himself against the onslaught of attack from the Texas state government that prosecuted him for the dastardly crime of having some sort of a sexual encounter with a teenage girl who lied about her age and then proceeded to turn him in. So not only did she get paid by him $500 for her evening that she spent with him in a hotel room, but she also snitched him out. So she was the real winner in this particular case. She got
and then she got paid again.
What was there compensation in the
Yeah,
settlement?
she got compensation of $5,000. So she's Texas's most overpaid whore.
Wow. I don't remember hearing that. But I bet you're right about that. I didn't know that the fine money went to the so-called victim.
Yeah, well, fine money doesn't, but so-called, what's the word I'm looking for?
It's just like part of the deal, basically.
What
restitution?
Restitution does.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there was restitution as part of it.
Outrageous. So, but the good news is, even after all that, he's back. He's going to be involved again over at Defense Distributed, the company that has made headlines internationally for selling machines. In this case, they're called the Ghost Gunner. They originally made news when they first released the world's first 3D printable gun called the Liberator. That was what put them on the map. And then they took that publicity and the renown that they got, or the infamy, however you want to look at it, from doing that, and they released the Ghost Gunner, subsequently releasing Ghost Gunner 2, and then this week, apparently, beginning to take orders for Ghost Gunner 3, which they say will be twice as fast as the previous Ghost Gunner. And you could, as I understood it when we read about the previous Ghost Gunner number 2, you could do all of the work for a gun within a matter of hours. So this one's going to be even faster, apparently. And that's good news, because the Ghost Gunner makes it possible for individuals who don't have a bunch of machining experience to be able to hammer out the parts to put a real functioning gun together without the knowledge of the government, which is the most important factor. That's why they call it the Ghost Gunner, because the guns that it can produce are effectively ghosts, meaning they don't have serial numbers attached to them at any point, because you start with basically just a hunk of metal called the 80% lower receiver, and then you just put that in the machine and it pops out the holes that you need, drills out the holes that you need to drill and does the the finishing that needs to be done, and it works. I've seen the manufacturing facility. I've seen and actually picked up some of the guns that they have they've made with them. It's very, very cool.
Oh, you guys
stuff.
toured the facility when you were at
A few
the
years
crypto
ago.
conference, I think.
Yeah, we were at Texas Bitcoin Conference. I don't know, it must have been 3 years ago now, I think, when we did this. So it was pretty cool. A little bit more here from the story. So Wilson, again, had been in this fight over this alleged sex with a teenage girl. He paid $500 for that sex as it happened. And she was on, by the way, a website that was called like Sugar Baby Meat or Sugar Daddy Meat or something like that.
I'm still amazed that they're, it seems like it's entrapment to pay basically restitution to a victim, because it encourages people to basically, put men into this compromising situation for profit motive, and like it's like that's like similar to entrapment. Just I mean, just maybe not by the a particular agent, but by the government as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, in general, I mean, restorative justice would be better than justice where, oh, well, you harmed this person, so give money to the state, which doesn't make any sense at all. If somebody robs me, them then giving more money to the state, so the state can use it to oppress me is not helpful.
In this case, they're rewarding somebody for lying.
So I would say the law is really the problem. I mean, this particular thing just should not be illegal.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it was last month when Wilson's judge accepted a plea deal, which reduced the charge in his case from, I think it was like statutory rape or whatever the Texas equivalent is of that, to injury to a child, which again, 16-year-old is not a child by any definition.
And this person clearly wasn't injured.
It's these words are being used to manipulate people into thinking that these are terrible people when they're not.
And thinking this is a helpless child when she's a 16-year-old, now 17-year-old girl.
We're being manipulated left and right by a certain group of people, who have an agenda. And it's not necessarily just one group, but there's multiple different groups with agendas. And whether it's a law enforcement group who needs to make themselves look important, by getting more people under that umbrella of victims of child, or whether it's a drug, the drug war, or it's going to war overseas.
So in this case, they've got a summary of the sentence here. Wilson was sentenced to no prison time, but must register as a sex offender, attend sex offender therapy, pay a $1,200 fine, and refrain from contacting the victim. Why he would want to do that, I don't know, among other conditions. And they don't get into the other conditions, but you touched on them earlier, Nobody, where he cannot use computers without being monitored, basically. And I think it was 7 or 8 years is when he's sort of on this suspended sentence, or I don't know if it's called probation or what the term was for it, where he still is owned by the state. If they want to come in and search his stuff, they can do that. So I think he's on probation, if I recall correctly. But after that 7 or 8 years, they will then wipe the charge basically off the books, and he will no longer be on the sex offender registry. So, all things considered, it could have been a lot worse. They do recap the so-called victim's mother and her words that she read at the sentencing, and I think we read those previously on the air, but I'm going to read them again.
Yeah, this is just a political attack. Nothing. 95% of what she said had nothing to do with her child. It had to do with attacking him for guns, basically. His gun activism.
So the quote from the mother was, "Our daily life was shattered, but she never wavered from the truth. Once she knew what you are, or who you are, and what you
gun
did."
activist.
Right, exactly. That's exactly what she's talking about.
Yeah.
She never wavered. Because they said originally in the...
she's literally saying if it wasn't for the fact that you were a gun activist, this wouldn't have been a problem.
You'd have been okay.
I mean, right.
Yeah.
Like, it's... this is just unbelievable.
Because he did allegedly brag about who he was to this girl, maybe trying to impress her or whatever. And that actually ended up being a problem.
This entire case has been surrounded by that, that fact that he bragged about being a gun activist.
There's more coming up here in moments. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We'll read the rest of the mom's statement, and then the Free Beacon here actually gave Cody the chance to respond to her statement. So we'll share that as well, and you can share your thoughts. It's Free Talk Live.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years with experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too, you know.
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Oh, is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission, the Wage and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet.
Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation...
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but free enterprise built this country. Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue, Washington.
We just can't have people floating about unregulated, you know.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You're invited. Join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. 855-450-3733. The great news that Cody Wilson is back. He's going to get a chance to respond in this article from the Washington Beacon to the ridiculous allegations of the mother of the so-called victim in this particular case, which of course was a completely consensual act between what was then a 16-year-old female who was masquerading as an 18-year-old female, and Cody Wilson, the CEO at that time of Defense Distributed. He's coming back. We'll tell you more about the story with you tonight. It's Ian.
Nobody.
And Chris.
Good nutrition is key to looking and feeling great, but eating right all the time can be a challenge. Travel and work schedules, which are so common in our lives these days, can get in the way. You might not have the desire or the time to shop and cook the right foods. Balance of Nature can help you with just 3 of the Balance of Nature fruit capsules and 3 of their veggie capsules. You can get 10 servings of fruits and vegetables, and that's a lot of nutrition. You can go online and become a preferred customer with code FTL there, which gives you the best pricing and free shipping. After your 3rd month, Balance of Nature will ship to you at no charge an additional set of fruits and veggies. So go to balanceofnature.com, use discount code FTL like Free Talk Live to get that offer. That's balanceofnature.com with code FTL. So we're sharing with you the mother of the victim in this case and what she had to say during the sentencing, or at maybe just before the sentencing, at the court, where Cody was basically given the chance to not go to prison and not end up being a felon after 7 years on on probation. Now, that's by no means an easy task, as nobody you've had a little bit of experience with after you got convicted of selling some cannabis. They put you on probation, which you subsequently violated because you weren't going to stop using cannabis. And at one point, you actually cut a deal with the judge to put you back in jail for a few months in return for getting rid of the probation sentence.
I did another 6 months, and they dismissed 2.5 years of probation.
Right, rather than having to be in and out of court again with further violation of probation charges.
Yeah.
And then
probation is basically there to be a trap to do so they can do worse things to you later.
Exactly. And even less attention is brought to those cases, right? So if a lot of attention was brought to you on your initial case, and there were a fair amount of people that came out to support you, you probably wouldn't have had as much support for a violation of probation. It just doesn't have the same sizzle as the initial arrest did for just selling cannabis. So a lot of these probation violations are just very routine for the courts, and they ruin people's lives even worse.
Yeah, and it's a preponderance of the evidence thing, so you don't get proof beyond a reasonable doubt.
So it's even easier for them to convict you.
I'm amazed at all the conditions they've got for like putting when people go on bail before they've been convicted of anything.
Right.
And it's
no
like,
alcohol, no
right.
this,
It's
that.
like, why should anybody's freedoms be taken away when they haven't even been proven, guilty of a crime? I mean, they can't get that time back to drink or do, whatever it is, that they're being prohibited from doing.
That's right.
It's like, and they're not going to get compensated in any way. It's just outrageous.
Yeah, I couldn't legally drink for a year. It didn't stop me, but
right. But if they caught you, you'd violate your bail and go right back into the clink.
Yeah, and it's
absolutely.
not even like these conditions are based on the fact that a particular person has a drinking problem or that's just leading to crime.
It's just standard.
It's just stock conditions. It's just absolutely insane.
So the statement from the mother, which was read in court, this was at the time of his sentencing, talking about Cody Wilson. She says, once she knew who you are and what you did, she never wavered. So she didn't have a problem having sex with Cody. She had a problem with Cody being a gun guy.
Right.
Or more likely the mother had a problem with it.
Well, mom may not have known about it until the daughter brought it to her attention. Right. So, I mean, presumably the daughter inherited whatever belief she has from her mother in this case. She remembers the gun you put in her hands and the feeling of your skin.
This is Texas.
But you ran. Despite the publicity you have always been seeking from your fans and followers, you ran. You hid in a foreign airport and only came back because you were made to. She stood up in a public forum despite talk of conspiracies and setups. Oh, really? What's her name?
Yeah.
If she stood up in a public forum. Oh, wait, she was under the age of 18, so therefore is treated as a juvenile and is protected as far as her name being in court documents.
A whore that expensive should be proud, though.
Exactly.
Who gets $5,500 for
for a night, one evening, not even an overnight. He had her out of the hotel room by like 10 o'clock and dropped her off at like a burger shack.
And the thing is, like, he had left the United States prior to any sort of warrant being out there for his arrest. So it's misleading to say that he ran.
Well,
he just happened to be traveling, I think.
But it seemed awfully coincidental. There's a chance he got a tip.
Or they could have waited until after he left to actually issue the warrant. So it looks that way.
Could have been.
I mean,
could have been.
It's something that had been planned months in advance. So
had it?
Yeah, there was. I'm pretty sure that I read that it had been planned months in advance, that trip. So it's, it was a business trip supposedly. Now, what happened once he got there, maybe, you could say that, hey, he was planning to rent a place for, who knows how long. But that happened after he left the United States.
What was he, in Thailand or something like that, I think?
Yeah, it was. I don't know if it was Thailand or it was one of those Asian countries.
Asked to respond to the mother's statement, Wilson told the Free Beacon, quote, "If it had been so severe, I would have been prosecuted." And I think what he means by that is more seriously prosecuted. Wilson, in his legal defense, have said he didn't know the girl's age when he paid her for sex. Quote, "Obviously, I regret it happening. It was a massive distraction. But in order to feel guilty, you have to have a criminal mind. You have to know you were committing a crime." Unquote. Wilson insisted that despite laws that prohibit felons and others from owning firearms and previous reports to the contrary, he will still be able to possess them. He says, quote, "I'm definitely not a prohibited person. I haven't taken a conviction. There's no felony record," he says. "Travis County doesn't treat me as having lost my voting or my firearms rights." So this must be a case that's been put on file then. This must be, not a conviction, but basically a conviction where if he does what the judge says, the case sort of stays floating out there on file, as they call it, and then after 6 or 8 years or whatever it is, it'll then be wiped off of that and be
that's
gotten rid
what
of.
it sounds like.
He says, quote, "Even if I wasn't allowed to own firearms, I could still run this company." He says this company deals with software and components that aren't firearms. He's just making
very
a
good point.
manufacturing press, right? Critics have long decried the ghost gunner, 3D printing of gun parts, and home-built firearms as ways for criminals to circumvent gun laws, though possessing firearms remains illegal for people prohibited from owning firearms regardless of whether the guns were home-built. Asked whether he felt he was the right person to lead Defense Distributed through its legal battles after pleading guilty to the crime, Wilson said a moral case wasn't necessary for him to participate in the cause that he has long embraced, adding that he may take a less public role going forward. Quote, It just has been my cause. I don't know how public I need to be anymore, so maybe he's not going to be the CEO. If he says if it hampers the cause like I thought it would last year, I definitely depart. But I've been invited to return, and if our people still want me to be there, I'm definitely going to be there.
I think it's very important for people who have been targeted, in this way to come up and, step up and go back to these roles and, lead a normal life, because it basically says to the people who are using these methods to attack that they don't work. They're not effective. But if
most of the time they do.
Can.
Right.
Because most of the time you're not going to get invited back.
Right. Yeah. And that's my point. Like, the more people who go back to work and retake the roles after they've been attacked and they've gone through the system, the better, because it just goes to show that it doesn't, their methods, these methods, these immoral methods that they're using to attack people, for reasons that have nothing to do with anything other than their own particular objectives, that they don't work anyway.
I agree if they can, although, there were people when I got arrested who acted as if I was cooperating, even though I did 1.5 years specifically for not cooperating with the FBI. So there's a lot of cowards out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt.
And there's plenty of cowardice at the top of companies who are always very worried about what people think about them. Luckily, Defense Distributed appears to be an exception to that rule. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. More on the way, and you can share your thoughts on whatever's on your mind. It is Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business. So make sure that they create a positive impression with Reputation Defender. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with Reputation Defender. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771. For your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with Reputation Defender. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Great news that Cody Wilson, the founder, CEO of Defense Distributed, who had to step down about a year ago due to a frivolous arrest, a ridiculous prosecution by the part of Austin, Texas, or the state of New Hampshire, state of Texas, rather. He should have moved to New Hampshire because then they never could have prosecuted him for this. But anyway, he did come up here once upon a time to speak. I think it was at the Liberty Forum. I think he attended a couple of those. That was the Free State Project's Wintertime Convention. Which, by the way, is happening again next year, from what I understand. And speaking of conventions and gatherings in New Hampshire, we've got big news about ForkFest 2020. That has the dates have been announced. I've been putting together a blog post for a few days, and there's all these other things have come up. Like you and I were talking about being super busy.
Oh, yeah.
Networking issues arose this morning, so I still wasn't able to finish the damn blog post today, but I'm darn close.
It's always a bunch of stuff that happens all at once. Yeah. It's like you could be not busy for weeks, and then it's like all of a sudden
it rains, it pours. Yeah, as they say. Yeah. So go to forkfest.party if you want to learn more about that. The dates are going to be June 29th through July 5th of 2020. So not only should you mark your calendar now for that, if you've been excited about attending ForkFest, if you've been before, you're probably going to come again because everybody has said nice things about it from who we've talked to, I think. And if you've never been before, I expect 2020. I didn't realize how big it was going to be this year. It was much larger than I thought it was going to be. And so I expect we're going to see more growth in 2020. How much more, I don't know. I think it'll also help that we're going to be there on Independence Day weekend, which is going to be a first for ForkFest. So
maybe people have off already for work and
good
stuff
question.
Like that.
Well, one of the things that was a problem previously was a lot of people who've got like kids in school. A lot of schools don't get out until the third week in June. And so that's one of the reasons why the Porcupine Freedom Festival is the final week typically of June, because they wanted to wait long enough to where the whole family could come up because some kid was still at school. So
kind of makes sense.
When ForkFest was the week before the Porcupine Freedom Festival, that actually cuts out a lot of potential attendees who are, still have their kids in school.
Right.
So now that ForkFest is going to be the week after the Porcupine Freedom Festival, that'll give more people time to get done with all their school and stuff and then go on vacation, basically. So I think it's going to I think it's going to work out really, really well. Go to forkfest.party to learn more about it. The site has been updated. You can contact Rogers Campground, I think, still right now, and lock in your campsite for next year. At least I haven't heard that you can't do that. So
I don't know that you can't do that, but you might have trouble getting through. I've heard a little bit of trouble.
They're not the most responsive sometimes.
So you might have to make a few phone
definitely
calls.
not in the winter because it's not a winter business.
That's true.
You don't run winter campgrounds in New Hampshire.
I think they are shutting down for the winter, like as we speak. So they're probably wrapping up the season. I think they usually stay open till some point in October. But anyway, reach out to them and get your campsite or your RV site reserved. We'll look forward to seeing you then. So just one more detail about Cody Wilson coming back to Defense Distributed. They have not yet said exactly what his role is going to be. He was invited back by the subsequent CEO, Paloma Heindorf, and Wilson did say that she would remain in a leadership role and he would not have an absolute, or rather as absolute, of a leadership role as he did before leaving the company. He also said the company would use the money that it makes from the new Ghost Gunner to pursue its political and legal objectives, including the ongoing suits against it. So, I mean, I don't know if this thing's organized as a nonprofit, but that's basically how it's functioning at this point, because they're just besieged by these government goons who are trying to put a stop to their freedom of speech. Because that's all that we're talking about here, right? Plans for a gun are freedom of speech.
Absolutely.
Distributing guns is a lot more complicated because there's all these ridiculous rules around them, but the gun plans, that's just information.
Mm-hmm.
And so to try to stop that information from getting out is quite unconstitutional. It's un-American. And kudos to Defense Distributed for continuing to stand up for the rights of everybody to be able to build their own weapons.
When information like people wants to be free.
Yeah, this is very reminiscent of the encryption back in the 90s, where they tried to stop. They classified it as ammunition, I think it was, and then they restricted its.
Well, they
export.
classified it as munitions, which is a more general term.
Right. Which is absurd because it's software is also speech.
He said the company.
Well, software can be a weapon or part of a weapon. Certainly, if you have a drone that's programmed to go out and kill people in an automated way, your software would be part of that weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So I think software can be part of munitions. I just, they don't have a right to control any part of the munitions, hardware, software, or anything else. We have a right to enough weapons to defeat the government. That's what the Second Amendment is for. And that's what the nice thing about this idiot, what's his name? Beta?
Oh, yeah, he comes up next in the story. Beto, I think is his name.
Yeah. But, the nice thing about him saying, yes, we're going to come get your guns, is a lot of people reminding America and reminding him that the reason that we have a Second Amendment is that so that we can shoot cops. That's what it's for. So we can shoot cops and we can shoot soldiers who, as soon as they start fighting for the government and against the people, become enemy soldiers. And it's nice that at least is being brought back into the fore of the discussion.
Well, Cody actually had some words for Beto, and that's how this story ends from the Washington Free Beacon. He said the company's new machine, the Ghost Gunner 3, comes at a key moment since Democratic presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke has promised to send police to confiscate firearms. Wilson said, quote, Beto is all about how we're going to, and I think the Beto guy's from Texas. Cody said, Beto is all about how we're going to take your AR and AK. Well, this is a machine that does both. And by does, he means creates both.
Right. Yes.
Not that it steals your guns.
That would be interesting.
So, again, Cody Wilson's back. I think it's great news. Hopefully he'll continue to be at least on the forefront of the publicity because he's a great speaker on these subjects. He's passionate. He's knowledgeable. He's the guy who created this company, so kudos.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, I'm glad to see him back.
So you can comment on gun freedom, the freedom to speak, the freedom to 3D print, the freedom to mill, whatever is on your mind. You can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Coming up, is there such a thing as a right to repair? That's what, Chris, you're going to be talking about coming up here tonight. If a thing that you have breaks, do you have a right not just to repair the item, because obviously you can repair your own stuff.
Right to repair is a little bit misleading.
It is absolutely.
You have a right to repair. You don't have a right to get parts given to you by somebody who doesn't want to.
You don't have the right to force others, to use violence against others, to force them to give you manuals and parts and things like that.
Yeah, and that's what, I guess there was a bill in front of the New Hampshire legislature that you've got a story about. Yeah. We're going to get into that coming up here in moments. Also, parking meters. Once again, they're in the news.
It's not one of us this time.
Well, unless one of us went to Indiana, because this
Somehow
story
I doubt it.
is out of Bloomington, Indiana, where Bloomington police officers are working to track down someone responsible for vandalizing 125 parking meters in the downtown area. Now, he didn't just cut these meters down like, in the classic movie.
Right.
Cool Hand Luke.
Yeah.
I like the way he did it, actually. It's certainly
this person.
Yeah, it's certainly that method is certainly a method that I would, if I were to do something like that. Not that
it's a lot faster.
Yeah, not that I am going to or looking to do this, or and it's just one of those things where, like, if you think about, like, how are you going to defend yourself against government if you're defending yourself against parking meters? And I'm not saying that this is. I'm not even going there, but nonetheless, yeah.
What he did was he spray painted the meters. He did two things. He spray painted the meters pink and green, maybe one or the other colors, and then filled the coin and card slots with expanding foam. They estimate that it'll cost around $5,000 to fix the damage. That sounds low. That sounds
for
low.
125 machines.
Yeah, these machines are expensive.
Maybe they mean $5,000 per machine.
Yeah. I'm wondering if this expanding foam didn't actually damage the machine. What I would have liked to have done is, if I was going to do something like this anyway,
it's going to make it hard as hell to you would think. You have to take it all apart.
You would think. But I would have used something that would actually corrode the insides of the machine so it can't be repaired.
What would be a good thing
I don't
to
know.
use for that?
But certainly that would be the way to go.
I mean, an acid attack is going to take metal off parts. It can't be, could not be repaired.
There's more coming up here. Your calls and thoughts are welcome. You can bring up whatever you want. We'll talk about the so-called right to repair coming up on Free Talk Live. Hour 2's next. Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com.
Do you have a qualified plan, an IRA, 401k, 401(b), or some other type of investment account? Would you like to learn how the ultra-wealthy take their investment accounts and make them legally 100% tax-free? Have your money liquid and invest in literally anything you want to completely tax-free with the blessing of the IRS. And no, it's not a Roth. Join us now at dna.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at dna.freetalklive.com.
I'm a little obsessed with My Magic Mud. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, the founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I didn't even know my teeth were coffee stained. A week's worth of use convinced me, and now I use it every 3 or 4 days. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, and I think it cleans better, too. My Magic Mud's available at most local health food stores, Sprouts, Natural Grocers, CVS, Walmart's Natural Beauty Aisle, but I can get it for you for 20% off with coupon code FTL20 at mymagicmud.com. FTL20 mymagicmud.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,503, silver at $17.80, and Bitcoin is trading at $7,474. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, a bill that would make malicious acts of animal cruelty a federal felony was unanimously passed in the United States House of Representatives on Tuesday. The bipartisan Preventing Animal Cruelty and Torture Act gives federal authorities a new set of tools to hunt down suspected animal abusers who move across state lines. The bill expands on a prior law that outlawed the creation and distribution of animal abuse videos that are obscene in nature, but didn't expressly prohibit violence toward animals. The Mind Unleashed reports the PACT Act intends to close that loophole. The bill was introduced by Republican Representative Vern Buchanan of Florida and Democratic Representative Ted Deutsch, also of Florida. In February, a bipartisan group of senators introduced the Senate companion to the bill. According to a fact sheet from Deutsch's office, the law would make it a serious federal crime for any person to intentionally engage in the crushing, burning, drowning, suffocating, and impaling of animals, along with any other acts of intentional animal cruelty toward non-human animals, birds, reptiles, or amphibians. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Google has officially confirmed that they've achieved quantum supremacy. While the breakthrough leaked last month, the company provided new details with the publication of a new article in the scientific journal Nature. The company says their 54-qubit Sycamore processor was able to perform a calculation in 200 seconds, which would have taken the world's most powerful supercomputer 10,000 years. Quantum supremacy has raised concerns that the company will be able to crack the strongest encryption, including the blockchain. That said, ex-Bitcoin Core developer Peter Todd called the achievement a primitive type of quantum computing that is nowhere near breaking cryptography. Some scientists have likened the breakthrough to the Wright brothers' first plane flight in 1903, as proof that something is really possible, even though it may be years before it can fulfill its potential, according to a report from the New York Times. A high-level Livingston Parish, Louisiana Sheriff's Office deputy who commanded the SWAT team, has been arrested for unspeakable crimes against children. 44-year-old Dennis Perkins and his 34-year-old wife, Cynthia Perkins, are accused of multiple counts of child rape and the production of child pornography. On Wednesday, the couple was arrested after a months-long criminal probe headed up by the Louisiana Attorney General's office. After the arrest, footage of the alleged child rapist was posted to Twitter, showing him being led into prison in shackles. The Free Thought Project reports that, according to a source close to the case, the couple was seen in videos and photos committing unspeakable acts with naked children. When police attempted to arrest Dennis Denny Perkins, he reportedly knew they were coming, so he tossed his cell phone in a nearby river and fled. The move also led to the top cop being charged with obstruction of justice on top of the child rape counts. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
The manatee is a solitary creature, drifting along in the warm, peaceful shallows. They are not usually held in a small glass enclosure with 3 other male manatees hell-bent on the violent forced sex that I, for real, saw with my own eyes while alone one night at SeaWorld, San Diego. A distant relative of the elephant, the manatee has a prehensile upper lip which it uses to gather food. It also has a large penis. Classified as endangered, human boaters often cause serious wounds to manatees' flippers, rendering it difficult for this one poor little rescue manatee to escape a large male manatee intent on unwanted anal intercourse. One needed not to look in that little manatee victim's cold, soul-sapped eyes to know this was not the first time this had happened, nor would it be the last.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Tonight with you, you've got Ian.
Nobody. And Chris.
Coming up here tonight, we've got the latest on what's going on with the Facebook so-called cryptocurrency, the Libra. Also on the way, the so-called right to repair. Is it really a right if you can, a right to force a manufacturer to give you their secret information, to give you their proprietary documents and info and even their parts? That's what some people are arguing, and we'll get into that coming up here. But first, a little bit more about the good news in Bloomington, Indiana, where police officers are working to track down somebody who vandalized 125 parking meters heroically in the downtown area, according to Fox59.com. Parking enforcement bureaucrat officer discovered the so-called crime this morning. Police say someone spray-painted the meters pink and green, then filled with coin and card slots, because these are the fancy meters. They're not like the ones we have here in Keene, which are coin operated only. These have a credit card processing unit on them.
Are they like the kiosks that we have in Keene?
No, they're the individual meters. So, and the kiosks are what you're describing is where there's like a central location in a given lot where people have to go to the kiosk, pay at the kiosk. In some cases, kiosks require you to print out a receipt and take it back to your car. Here, I don't believe the kiosks require that.
No, they just require your license plate information, which is far worse and more difficult for especially older people.
Well, it's also difficult for people to have to go back to their cars too. So it's not no kiosk situation is an ideal situation. The best situation is to get rid of parking meters entirely, and that's what this heroic person is trying to do by vandalizing these meters. And then again, is it really vandalization if you actually own the property? I mean, after all, they claim that we're the government. So therefore, wouldn't this person who did the spray painting actually be part owner of the meters that they spray painted?
He was just being artistic with his own property.
Right. I loved, I think it was Derek J. who used to say that whenever he made a change to some government property of some way, he would just say, well, I was just improving it.
I like that.
Quote, I got out of my car and I walked around and there was spray foam insulation coming out of all the holes. It was crazy, said Allie McHaley, who works downtown. She discovered the mess this morning. The parking meters impacted are located around downtown. Replacement parts to fix the damage are on the way. Until those get here, parking enforcement asks people to use the Park Mobile phone app to pay for parking. They just
Are you
asked.
serious? They expect people to pay even after their meters are...
They're asking. Officers say they will not ticket people who park at the meters that do not use the parking
app. The nerve of these people.
So I guess the moral of that story is if you park at these meters, don't use the parking app because you don't need to.
Exactly. No. Well, they can't require you to have an app, right? Like they can't.
Oh, Ian, they can.
Well,
I mean, they do.
It would be hard for
Massachusetts.
them.
Look at Massachusetts, what they do with the tolls.
The Easy Pass. You're right.
You're literally are charged more if you
do.
Don't,
they charge you more?
They charge you more if you don't have an Easy Pass, and they'll charge you more even if you have an Easy Pass, but it's not from Massachusetts.
Really?
You have to have a Massachusetts specific Easy Pass.
My God, that is
in order
insane.
to get charged the discount rate, and I put that in quotes.
Do you know what the actual rate is? To like, if
I
you
mean, it
have
depends on the
Easy
toll
Pass?
probably, but it's like 25% less expensive if you have usually something like that. If you have the Easy Pass, yeah. And that's it's I just find this mind-bogglingly messed up.
Now, is there a countermeasure for that? Could you
it's
put
called a Montana plate?
Although they have caught up with Montana plates from Massachusetts, is my understanding. Although I don't think they do in New Hampshire.
I think it's. I think what's
but
going.
Can you do the covers that you put over your license plate to prevent photography?
That's a $300 fine.
Really? In Massachusetts?
I believe so. I believe it's a $300 fine from what somebody else told me. Now maybe the information's wrong. Maybe it's $500. Maybe the number's not quite right. But yeah, it's an expensive fine from what I understand.
Okay, there's actually a fine.
Yeah,
for
it's
that.
not like a New Hampshire $50 fine. It's a very high fine.
Have you heard about the spray? There's some sort of a clear coat kind of spray that you can spray on your parking or your tag that will prohibit cameras from being able to photograph it.
The way the cops in Mass interpret the law is anything that obscures the license plate and prevents them from reading it or a camera from reading it, you're guilty of a charge, and there's a fine associated with that.
That's interesting because normally they can't. I think normally they would not be able to charge you with an equipment violation, which is what that would be, if what you're driving is legal in the state you come from.
Good
Although
question.
I'm not sure about that. It would be interesting to try to fight that and say, well, I'm from a different state and my car is perfectly legal there, and under full faith and credit, I have to be able to drive it through your state.
I think there's some truth to what you're saying. It's just not to the degree that you're saying it.
How are they going to prove that you have a spray adhere, whatever this stuff is? I've read about it. I don't know if it works, okay? And I don't know what it's called, but this spray that you allegedly can put on the license plate to stop the photographs from being able to be taken, you've basically created a situation where their equipment is still functioning. It's just not working when it's shooting in your direction.
Right.
And it would be very hard for them to prove, that you did something, right? Like that they don't know. They can't inspect you. They don't have your car. They don't have the ability to gather the evidence to use against you.
Well, the question is this visible with the naked eye, or would they have to?
I think it's a clear coat of some sort that somehow, I don't know what they use. I'll have to look it up. We'll have to see if we can find whatever this product
I don't
is.
know, but I do know that there are cops in Mass that are definitely ticketing people for this sort of thing and using different types of obscuring tech, I guess, so to speak. And it's so they're definitely like targeting people for it. Whether I don't know how they pick up on it though specifically. I think sometimes it's obvious, like with the plates that go over it. That's kind of obvious, like you can tell. But if it's a spray, and the spray I think doesn't work as well as the obscuring plates that go over your license plate. So
like to actually block physically? That you're going to get in some trouble for, right?
Because, well, they have translucent covers that you can put over your plate so a human can read it.
Right, exactly. And those are obvious,
but I think what it is you can't read it from a bizarre angle, and traffic cameras are normally very high and taking pictures downward.
So they have those on like certain computer screens at banks where there's like a 3M shield that they put over the screen.
Right, the same sort of thing.
Yeah. Where the person operating the computer from front on can read the screen, but the person standing sort of off to the side, it looks black to them. So maybe that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, these, as I recall, look kind of amber, but I think it's the same thing.
Okay, so this spray that I'm looking at here only reflects the flash. So it's for the nighttime traffic cameras that flash real bright when you pass through them. You've probably seen these things in some states. Thankfully, we don't have these in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
But in a lot of states, they have them.
Don't we? Because I'm used to seeing kind of a flash as I go through the 93.
There's no red light cameras in New Hampshire that I'm aware of.
No, not red light cameras, toll cameras, because
yes, they have those.
They do
That's
photograph your license plate when you pass through. Pass through those, and so that spray might be effective against that kind of camera.
But I presume that only works at nighttime because obviously during the day the sun's going to light it up, and the flash won't be effective enough to be reflected, basically.
Yes, I don't know.
Toll-free number tonight, if you want to join us. Maybe you've utilized some of these. Well, here's a claim. Again, it's just some website with claims with a product and claims on it. Someone claims it works well during the daytime. So I'd be curious to know if someone has actually put this to the test. Obviously, you can't necessarily trust the manufacturer that wants to sell you the can of spray.
I think there's a way to also, if you wire it up, you can get a certain type of lighting that I'm trying to think what is this called. You probably won't know what I'm talking about. Basically it's not on the visible spectrum. It's
UV or IR.
IR. I think it's like IR or something. Anyway, but it basically it's how the cameras read your license plate number. So that if you have this like light, basically, I think it'll work all the time, but it has to be bright enough to obscure. Again, you can't see it. It's only the cameras that can see this light. So.
Oh, and they do have the license plate covers, the plastic, the warping kind of license plate covers. More coming up here in moments. You can share your thoughts with us. Take control of the airwaves. It's Free Talk Live.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarists, thinkers, and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th. Visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
With Fortune DNA, you can invest in anything you want to, 100% tax-free for you and your heirs, and use your money before you're 59 and a half without ever losing your principal, all with the blessing of the IRS. Avoid the volatility of the market, put certainty back into your investing future, and keep full access to your money with Fortune DNA. Join us now at dna.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at dna.freetalklive.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
There are basically two types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up what you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Free Talk Live brought to you by HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com. Ready to start accepting cryptocurrency at your point of sale, at your real-life business. And I believe they're starting to roll out support for internet businesses. At least that's what the boys from AnyPay said this week on Tuesday. I have yet to actually explore that myself, but they said that's no longer a secret now. So if you've got an internet company and you want to accept cryptocurrency, look over to the folks over at AnyPay. Just go to helpmetakebitcoin.com. That's helpmetakebitcoin.com. You can get started accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, Dash, and Bitcoin Cash, and you can do it without having to pay ridiculous fees. In fact, it is free to accept these cryptocurrencies at your point of sale. It's helpmetakebitcoin.com, and yes, apps are available for iOS and Android devices or any old web browser as well. So, of course, we'll take your calls and thoughts about what you want. We've been talking about radar detection, making it whether it's illegal or not, and what we determined during the break there was that it's illegal, at least according to ratedradardetector.org, where they have a map of now this is somewhat out of date. It does say February of 2014, so you may need to check for updated prohibitions in your area. But at that time, Virginia and D.C. were the places where radar detectors are prohibited. And I presume that means the use of. It says here, use of radar detectors. You can have a radar detector, you just can't use it. And then in California, Florida, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey, it's legal to use a radar detector, but it's illegal to hang a thing from your windshield. So any kind of device touching your windshield, I guess, is prohibited in those states, which is really unfortunate, right? Like when I'm driving around, not only do I have a radar detector connected to my windshield, I've also got a cam, a dash cam that's connected to my windshield as well. So I guess that's prohibited in
it's insane that you got to keep track of so many different states' laws.
Just to drive through. It's ridiculous. So in other news, you wanted to share, Chris, a story tonight about devices. What happens if your radar detector breaks? We actually had my roommate Matt. He got some fancy new radar detector, like one of those $300, $400 radar detectors, because they have to make them now to where they filter out the car sort of feature radars, because a lot of these newer cars have detectors that'll detect whether you're too close to another car. I don't know if you've heard about these features, but
so they're constantly projecting radar.
Right, front and behind.
Right.
They've got radar that's being shot out of these cars. So
like for sensing like what the car in front of and back of them.
Correct, and how close they are.
And
then the car can adjust its speed based on that.
Yeah, particularly for self-driving cars in particular.
Well, they're putting these features in standard cars as well, just to assist drivers who aren't paying close enough attention or whatever.
But the technology, that same technology is what's what is going into self-driving cars.
Right. Yeah,
It's
radar.
like this is like the early self-driving car technology functionality wise is what you're seeing in cars today.
Correct. Yeah, a lot of that stuff is getting built in. Mark Edge, one of our co-hosts, has a car that has this stuff in it. Personally, I don't really care for that sort of thing. I enjoy driving, so I think it takes away some of the abilities that you have when you're driving. It just kind of gets in the way, in my opinion. But a lot of people love it. Mark swears by it. He feels like a lot of times he's not paying enough attention, and these things help him. You're not paying attention, the car's going to slow itself down if it detects that it's getting close to a thing. So I definitely see the value in it for people.
I see the value in it. It's interesting how technology can actually make us more dangerous drivers, though, because people end up...
They could use it as a crutch.
Yeah, they end up using it as this crutch of they think, oh, well, the car will drive itself if I fall asleep. And that's just not really the case. Unfortunately, there's a lot of really... And part of the problem is people are... I don't know if calling them stupid or dumb, but certainly... they don't understand the technology frequently, and so they don't drive safely as a result. They drive worse, and it's like, no, it's not going to save your life. In all situations, it's like you still have to pay attention, especially the technology that we currently have and the level of development that it's at. But I'm sure it doesn't help that it's the way they're labeling it too and selling it to people. I think they're
driver assistance.
Yeah, driver assistance, or what do they even the technology, just the speed control? What do they call that? Do you know what I'm talking about?
The one that we were talking about, where it'll slow you down if you get too close to something?
No, it's been on cars for...
Oh, cruise control.
Cruise control.
Yeah.
Like, some people have interpreted that as being, like self-driving, some sort of
it was an
self-driving.
early version of that.
I guess, but some people have been fooled into, or somehow they don't understand that that's not self-driving, and that some reason they think it is self-driving, and they've used it and they've gotten into accidents, and this is like not new. This is something that's like been happening for God knows how long.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, so many people are just completely disconnected from reality.
Yeah. But I could see somebody confusing the two, like the cruise control with some sort of functionality when they get into maybe an older vehicle, or I don't even know, especially as young people get they grow up.
Young people aren't even driving.
Well,
they're looking at numbers with a lot of teenagers, for instance, from what we've read here. They're not even interested in learning how to drive.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help that the government,
take an Uber
in a lot of places, is making it very, very difficult for young people to drive. And then even after they do get their license, they can't drive by themselves. So it's like because the law prohibits it in at least some states. I know New Jersey's really terrible. I was unable to employ 2 different people for a job who were like 21-ish. Because they didn't have their license yet, and by the time they got their license, it would be like another year before they could drive by themselves.
Wow.
It's absolutely insane, the level of difficulty that states are making it for young people. I remember getting a license at like 16.
Well, their excuse, to play devil's advocate on you, the reasons for that is that young people are worse drivers, according to the statistics. They're more likely to get
into... They're worse drivers
because...
Well,
the thing is, they're inexperienced drivers. Right. If you push their adulthood back, that just means it's going to be that much later that they get experience.
This is a self-fulfilling prophecy kind of dealie. It's, I don't understand. Like, the crazy thing is, the excuse that they use to pass these laws effectively is something to the effect of the brain isn't fully developed. So, but the problem is the brain isn't fully developed when you're 28, right? So it's
really,
it's like 28. So
well, I mean, your brain keeps developing, I would think, all your life if you keep using it.
Yeah, it's and that's the thing. It's like you can continue to make this argument. Are we going to literally not allow anybody to get their driver's permit until they're 28 years old? I mean, come on. I mean, there's a lot of places you can't get to work without a driver's license, right? I mean, how would you get to work in Keene? It's like if you have to drive 20 minutes, to get to work, which a lot of people do. A lot of people have to commute, and that's even if they're living in, like the suburbs, right? Like near like a city or something of that nature.
We got more on the way. You can join us here, whether you want to talk about driving or whatever happens to be on your mind. Coming up, repairing the things that you own. You own the thing. Does that mean that you have a right to get parts, spare parts? Do you have a right to get the plans from the company that sold you the thing? The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. I think all of us are going to agree that no, you don't have a right to force a company to provide you with information or parts. And that was a discussion that they had recently in a state legislature. We'll talk about it on the way. It's Free Talk Live.
Well, they should have.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years. With experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Are you about to meet the media? If you're about to be interviewed, do their homework for them. Know this about the person who will interview you. He or she is busy, so expect minimal, if any, preparation. He or she doesn't know as much about your topic as you do. He or she isn't as concerned as you are about getting your message out, so you need to take responsibility. Provide a biography and fact sheet, photographs, or other materials that tell your story. Reporters won't be put off if you supply frequently asked questions. Remember, Public Speaking 101, at the end of the speech, what's the one thing you want them to remember? You can download the document I supply to reporters who interview me and squirm through a video that demonstrates how not to conduct your media interview at www.survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, dial toll free to bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE. Coming up, the so-called right to repair. We're going to find out exactly what that means and why it's not a good idea. 855-450-3733. A good idea, however, is planning to attend Anarchapulco coming up in February. It's going to be the 13th through the 16th. Lots of great speakers like Ron Paul. He's coming back for year number 3 in a row, plus John McAfee, Sherry Peel Jackson, Doug Casey, Freeway, Rick Ross, Del Bigtree, Jeff Berwick, Larkin Rose, Jeffrey Tucker, Benny Wills, and many more. You can go to anarchapulco.com, check out the list of speakers there, although I don't think it's complete at this point. There's some major names that are already on board. It is the foremost conference on the planet for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held at a beautiful resort right on the beach in Acapulco, Mexico. Enjoy 4 days among the sun and beaches there at February 13th through the 16th. You can get the discount for Free Talk Live listeners by using promo code FTL, and you'll get 10% off. Anarchapulco.com, promo code FTL, like Free Talk Live. All right, so Chris, what is the news about this right to repair? You've got in some states, and I don't know which ones have passed this.
California springs to mind. I think that's where all this madness started.
Sounds like something they would do.
It's a very lefty idea, I think, and it's not so much that. I mean, I understand. Like, I am very much interested in making sure that there's parts available, like for my company, right? I want people.
You
to
sell computer parts,
but I don't think that any company should be, forced to by the way of law. The way this problem gets solved is by market demand.
By competition, actually.
Right, by competition, right. And so if you want parts for your computer, stop buying the Apple, stop buying the Dell, stop buying whoever it is that refuses to buy or sell you parts and provide manuals or whatever it is that you need,
because they want you to go to them. That's what they want.
And this kind of regulation can also be self-defeating because, once you have this regulation and all companies claim that there are parts available, but if they didn't want to make parts available in the first place, there's no way to make them do a good job of providing those parts, to send you the right parts, to send you the parts in a reasonable period of time.
Yeah,
right. There's all sorts of things they could probably do to undermine the effect of the law. Like, maybe they'll sell you parts, but I'm not even so much thinking about like low quality parts. I'm just saying, like, if you
not low quality parts necessarily, but bad customer service. Yeah, we'll send you the part. It's going to take 6 months
70
to
days.
get there.
Certainly. Or charge, absurd amounts of money. They already do that for repairs. Like Apple already does that for repairs. It costs as much to repair the laptop as it would to buy a new one.
Ridiculous.
Right?
So I want to do business with a company that makes parts available because that's good customer service and advertises it and wants you to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and that's your point here, Chris. And by the way, you do run a company called Think Penguin over at thinkpenguin.com, where you sell Linux-based computers that are privacy sort of oriented, basically.
They run Linux and free software operating
And of course, the other problem is, let's say that they required for computers sold in New Hampshire that spare parts have to be available to. Well, you might not be able to get the parts from China to repair the things that you sell.
No.
So does that mean that you then have to drop those
to
product
not sell
lines?
the product? Yeah, good question.
Well, the way the laws have been written, at least in like California, you have to effectively make the parts available for, I think, like, actually I'm not sure about California specifically, but depending on the laws that you're reading in different countries and different states, it's as long as like 7 years.
Wow.
It may be even longer in some cases. So
which means you can't briefly introduce and then cancel a new product line because then you've got to have a warehouse full of parts for 7 years.
And that dramatically increases the cost.
It's exactly what I was about to say. It's going to massively increase the cost of a product in some cases.
Stupid.
There are just some, because and here's the thing, a lot of the stuff that's being manufactured, it's not like they're continuing to manufacture it. They manufacture it once and that's it, or they manufacture it for like a certain period of time and then that's it, and then for however long it was the last time they sold that product, they have to provide those parts. So what they're going to have to do is effectively stock the parts at the time in which they were manufactured, which may, in some cases, depending on what it is, it may actually not even work out because of there's certain laws that actually they came from Europe, and I don't even know if the United States has them, but basically in an effort to, or at least this is the claim, in an effort to protect the environment, they outlawed the use of certain chemicals in manufacturing, which actually ensures that electronics fail after a certain point.
Planned obsolescence.
But what's interesting about this is it was for environmental reasons, but it also ensures that you have to replace your devices
every few years.
Every so often. So if you are forced to maintain old stock, you can be guaranteed that the part that you receive is actually not going to work because it would have to be manufactured more recently in order to not basically fail on you right away.
Yeah. Wow. This is a huge problem where
I didn't even know electronics had preservatives.
Yeah.
No, it's like and I know I'm wrong about how I'm explaining this, but just take it with a grain of salt. So it's something like the solder that's used. They can't use certain chemicals in it, and so it degrades, and as a result of that, you have higher increasingly higher failure rates the longer out you look.
Wow.
So
that's awful.
Maybe when they first manufacture them for the first 5 years, there's only a 1% failure rate. Yeah. But if you look 10 years down the road, now there's a 25% failure rate.
All right, so what do we need to know about this story?
So this story comes from Motherboard. Lawmakers kill repair bill because cell phones are throwaways. So, I mean, the gist of this story is that basically they killed this law in New Hampshire, and that's good. But they did it for the absolutely insane reasons.
Well, maybe they did. I mean, you're getting it through Motherboard, right? So you didn't.
This
Motherboard,
is true.
Did they go and watch all the
hearings
and
hear
what? Because if there was the other thing is each person who voted against it had his own reasons for voting against it, and they only interviewed X number of people.
Let's go into this a little bit. The bill would have forced manufacturers such as Apple to share repair manuals and parts with independent repair stores. House members didn't kill the bill, but sent it back to committee for a year of interim study, citing security concerns. And in the words of Representative John Putnick, I mean, this is just ridiculous. The security.
The idea that repairing something is a security problem that's not nonsense.
That's nonsense. Yeah. The ubiquity, cheapness, and in his opinion, disposability of new smartphones. So this is it's interesting. This isn't even a quote. This is a summary of what he said. But yeah, I mean, he's saying, according to Motherboard anyway, Motherboard is claiming that he is saying that the reason that this law shouldn't pass is the result of the basically how cheap cell phones have become. And
okay, well, what about my $300? Well, I guess $300 isn't a whole lot of money.
They have $1,400 cell phones.
Yeah, true.
On the market. Like the high end is not cheap. It's you're looking.
But this wasn't just about cell phones. This is about all electronics, right? I mean, this is about computers. This is about. Yeah. I mean, I've got a home theater system. It was only $300, but
Yeah, and I do believe that this was not specific to cell phones, but I'm not 100% sure of that because you know what, though, unfortunately the story isn't 100%.
They're not going to tell you.
Yeah, it doesn't tell you all the details of it, but I probably would have to look into it a bit more. But either way, it doesn't matter whether it's a cell phone or not.
It said they didn't kill the bill. They moved it to a study committee?
They did.
Okay.
They did.
And this was a New Hampshire bill?
This is a New Hampshire bill, which is why it came across. It was actually, this is national news, actually. But, it was a New Hampshire bill that they're talking about here. In the near future, cell phones are throwaways. Puttock said, according to New Hampshire Business Review, everyone will just get a new one. That is, of course, the problem that Right to Repair is trying to solve.
Yeah, I mean, so Vice is in favor, of course, of this.
Well, yeah, Vice is in favor, and I'm in favor of repairing stuff. I'm just not in favor of forcing manufacturers to do to provide parts, because effectively that's the use of violence against.
Violence should be prohibited both directions, right? The companies should not be able to prosecute you for running an unlicensed repair facility,
right? And that's exactly that's the real problem that we have. We have companies like Apple who are undermining the ability of third parties to sell aftermarket replacement parts, and they're using they're abusing copyright laws and trademark laws to shut companies down. And
Apple has always been proprietary.
Not
hardware.
Always. The Apple II was a wonderful machine.
Way back
you
in the
could
day.
pop it open, throw your own card in. It rocked.
Okay, well, they changed after that then, because as long as I've been around paying attention. More coming up here. Free Talk Live. Join us.
Warning. If you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-976-1460. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, Do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-976-1460. That's 1-800-976-1460. 1-800-976-1460.
Extendivite really works. Just listen to what Dr. Joe has to say.
Hypertension runs in my family, unfortunately. I started having problems a number of years ago, and I had heard the commercials a number of times, and I personally do not like the idea of being on medications. Even though I'm a physician, you would think, that's our thing, but we just don't like it. So I figured, I'll start the product, and I did, and I got to tell you, it does help. By the grace of God and that product, my labs come back really good all the time, right on the money. I used to always have cold toes in the wintertime, and I used to love going down to Florida for my medical conferences. But since I've been taking the product regularly, I don't have that problem anymore. You got a great product there, Don, and I just wanted to tell you how appreciative I am. Thank you so much.
To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Free Talk Live.
That satellite image pictures of cities on the moon.
No, they
and
don't.
Of course yes, they do.
That's a load of garbage. I've never heard of any such thing. A quick Google search would reveal whatever these lame-o pictures are supposed to be, which, of course, you yourself have never done, right? You've never seen these alleged photos, correct?
No, but it's actually the...
Why would you go around saying that there are pictures of cities on the moon if you yourself have never seen them?
Well, because I heard it on a late night, 2 o'clock in the morning when I used to have that show here.
Yeah, you're talking about the overnight kook show?
Coast to Coast.
Coast to Coast?
Yeah, they banned that show 5 years ago.
No, they didn't.
I used to say...
Who's they?
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Wow. Bitcoin. Comeback Kid. It was as low as $7,400, I think, within the last 24 hours, basically. Yeah, I'm looking at a 24-hour chart here of Bitcoin, and it had dropped, I think was it yesterday sometime? Yeah. So, basically a day, sometime on late Tuesday, it dropped from $8,000 down to about $7,500.
Yeah.
And in the last 24 hours, it has gone up 24%.
If you were thinking about buying, well, you missed your opportunity to buy low.
No, you haven't missed your opportunity. It's still low. When it's $200,000, you'd be looking back at this price point and you'd be like, oh, what was I thinking? Of course, we don't know what's going to happen.
I don't think it's going down to 200, but
no, I said $200,000.
Oh, right,
when it's up to that high, looking back at 10,000 is going to be,
that's true.
it's going to seem so small.
We'll see.
But we don't know what's going to happen. It could fail tomorrow.
Yeah,
you never know.
It's been around the $10,000 range, give or take 25%
for the last year,
for
half a year.
Yeah, probably 6 months at least, 6 to 8 months.
But to jump up two major jumps up in just the last basically 12 hours. It was around noon today.
It did drop quite a bit, like percentage wise.
It went up about $800 at about noon today Eastern time, and then just in the last 20 minutes went up another $700. So it's been an incredible day for Bitcoin today, and some of the altcoins as well. The competitors to Bitcoin also have been doing well. So
now that it's
nice
up,
to see.
For anybody who has made money, check out thinkpenguin.com because we do accept Bitcoin and we do accept Dash.
No. You wanted, yeah. Ideally, though, you should want more of it when it's down, right? Because then you get more per sale.
Right,
but yes, now that it's up, people might want to spend it.
Okay. When you spend it, it saves me a little bit of a percentage
because you don't have to pay the credit card companies.
Right. Exactly. So it's still beneficial, even if it's on the up for us. So yeah, check out thinkpenguin.com for your crypto computer purchases, basically. Yeah.
Are you guys going to start accepting Ethereum now that BitPay is turning that on?
I have no interest in accepting Ethereum.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, it probably doesn't take much to actually do it. I think I
think it'll be a default if you don't, unless you opt out or something like that.
I don't believe it. The way I've understood it, no, I've read their announcements, BitPay's announcements, which is who we're accepting or how we're accepting crypto. It's not the best way, but it's
established.
It's the way
they've been around.
It may be a while before we move away from BitPay, unfortunately. And so, but the thing is, I think based on the BitPay announcements that I've read, that I've received, I have to log into the site and I have to click on something.
Okay.
And so,
did you have to do that when they turned to Bitcoin Cash too?
I don't believe so. I believe it was automatic with Bitcoin Cash.
Interesting.
So that is interesting. I did make a note that I think that was interesting compared to how they did before.
Well, with Bitcoin Cash, they didn't necessarily need a new wallet address, but with Ethereum, they would.
True. No, because Bitcoin Cash. Okay, so when we get Bitcoin Cash, it converts it to Bitcoin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we get it. We get.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
We get. Bitcoin.
Wait, can you opt out of that and have it keep it as Bitcoin Cash?
I don't see any option in the login to get Bitcoin Cash. It's just
weird.
Bitcoin, as far as I know.
Wow.
Maybe you haven't looked close enough because you're a busy guy.
It's possible I haven't looked close enough. I think I have looked for it. I'm pretty sure I've looked for it, and I couldn't find anything to enter a Bitcoin Cash address. So yeah, I mean, maybe if I
maybe you can have it go one way or the other, where it all goes to Bitcoin Cash and it all goes to
I'm not sure. Maybe it just isn't clear. And if I were to update the address, it would then if I entered a Bitcoin Cash address, which is because they're a little bit different. If you enter a modern Bitcoin Cash address as opposed to in the past, it would just then interpret it and know that I want Bitcoin Cash as opposed to Bitcoin. But I don't really know for sure. It also might just give you an
I wouldn't
error or
try
something.
that at home.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? I also don't want to lose my crypto. But yeah, I'm okay with accepting or getting the payouts in. I probably should be more concerned about getting them in Bitcoin because the smaller amounts will probably result in a loss, a greater loss because there's fees associated with it. Although they're not doing it that way anymore. They're doing it like they're merging the outputs. And it's not every day.
I'm getting lost. Who's not doing what way?
So it used to be, I think, that they would basically forward every transaction. So
at BitPay? No. BitPay was only...
it was daily, wasn't it?
BitPay would only forward once you reached a certain level.
It was daily. It was whatever it was at the end of the day.
They would probably do it daily, but if you didn't reach the threshold, you wouldn't get it at the end of the day. You had to reach a certain threshold, I think. It's been a while since I've done this.
Yeah, I believe in the early days when you did it, it was just whatever was in the account at the end of the day, it would be sweeped.
That may have changed when the fees went up.
I think
they changed that.
I think they did, and now it's like a number of days, once a week,
a certain amount of once
and
you hit a certain volume.
And now there's also a volume. I think it's a combination of two things.
Probably both.
I think it's you have to reach a certain volume before it'll sweep it. Plus, it'll only do it once every 3 or 4 or 5 days, something like that.
Still better than credit cards, though.
They definitely did change it. I definitely know they changed it. I just don't know. I don't recall exactly what the details are. And one of the reasons I know they changed it is because I know that it takes longer now, just
to get your coin.
To get the coin.
Which is one of the things that's nice about AnyPay is that it's every transaction with AnyPay.
It is, but
it's pretty sweet.
Of course, if you're taking Bitcoin, it does have an additional cost because there's a fee for
That's
forwarding
true.
it, and so that's not as ideal, especially if you're doing smaller transactions. But I mean, yeah,
I think they're going to fix that though with AnyPay to where the customer will have to pay the extra fee, but I don't think that's one of the things.
It's still not ideal.
Well, people shouldn't use Bitcoin then if they want to buy stuff. They don't want to have to pay fees.
Well, yeah, Bitcoin is not the thing you want to spend.
Certainly, the problem is Bitcoin. I don't think anybody's questioning.
And what
that.
we're referring to here is the fact that the Bitcoin specifically, we're not talking about all cryptos, but Bitcoin specifically is very high compared to all the rest of them as far as fees are concerned. So if you want to join us here, you can. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Was there more you wanted to say on this so-called right to repair, or do we pretty much cover, hey, look, leave it to the market, let the marketplace punish these companies?
I think we've hit the gist of the story. It's not like I'm not looking to give a mouthpiece to a left-wing socialist outlet. I just wanted to quote this absurd explanation that was quoted, and I'll put that in quotes because it wasn't even a quote really, summary of what a rep has said, because it was insane, but there were also good reasons.
There's a lot of stuff like this story where they use wording that makes it sound really good. Right to repair.
Yeah.
That sounds like something at a headline level that you would support.
I support somebody's right to repair. I don't support the force,
but not the political version of it.
I do not support what they are referring to as right to repair bills, because the right to repair bills are the use of violence to achieve their aims. And the way.
And by the way, for anybody that questions you on that, if you're running a company that has a manufacturer, and you say, and there's some so-called right to repair law wherever that affects you, and you say, nope, we're still not going to give you the parts. We're not going to give you the instructions. We're not going to give you the manual. We're not going to do any of that stuff. And then what happens? The government will send men with guns after you. That's what backs up all of these programs. Right. When you pass a law, there are men with guns who will come to your place of business or your home or wherever it is that you are, and they will threaten you over you not doing what they say.
Ian, it's just a fine. They're not going to actually come out with guns.
What happens if you don't pay the fine?
Well, the fine will go up.
Yeah, and then what if you don't pay that?
And then there'll be interest on it, and you'll have to pay a penalty.
And then what? What if you don't pay? At some point, they're going to steal your stuff from you. Yeah, at some point, they're going to steal from you.
You're absolutely right. They will eventually come with guns. They will steal your property, or whatever.
Or, go to your bank account with guns.
Seize your. Yeah, I mean, they'll seize your funds. And even though they don't have to use guns to seize your money from your bank account, effectively they're still threatening the bank with guns if the bank were to refuse.
What if the bank said, hey, that's our customer?
Right, they would definitely come in with guns.
They never would, but what if they did?
Yeah, there isn't a bank that cares out there. Banks will rob you themselves.
If you look,
they robbed you this week.
I think property, like actual property, like homes and things like that, we've actually seen them come with violence and use to steal property, because our friend
Jay Noon, got thrown out of his house.
They literally came with guns. 2 cops, I believe, came to their house and physically
at 6 a.m, 4 a.m. or whatever,
removed him from his property. And then they changed locks or whatever.
The reason they didn't come right away for Jay's house was because we went down there, and this was before you had arrived in New Hampshire, but I'm sure you would have gone.
For sure.
But it was me and Pete Air. I don't know if you went with us. I think it was JJ who went down there. We occupied Jay Noon's front yard with a bunch of some of the New Hampshire. I think maybe Michelle 7 went too, but anyway, a few of us from Keene traveled down, and there was also
that was while I was in jail.
Maybe, and there were also some folks from Massachusetts who cared about freedom. So a bunch of people were just kind of hanging out at Jay's house on the day they were supposed to come and serve him with the eviction and take him off the property, and they never came because they didn't have enough guns.
Right.
So they came 6 months later when everyone was gone. 855-450-FREE. That's the toll-free number. 855-450-3733. Coming up, Facebook and their so-called cryptocurrency. It is really pissing off these government people, and we'll explain what's going on with it. It's Free Talk Live.
Balance of nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
Hey, let me tell you something. The balance of nature really works, man. I mean, I work constantly on the road, and I put in 60 hours in 4 days, 15 hours a day, and I'm telling you, this stuff works. I don't get sick. I have plenty of energy. I'm 46 years old. I'm an old man, and I can't tell you how grateful I am to have this stuff. So I just want you to know that this stuff really works, and I'm grateful that this Dr. Howard guy figured it out. So I'll leave it at that.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we'll take off an additional $25 on your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you're helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,503, silver at $17.80, and Bitcoin is trading at $7,474. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, a bill that would make malicious acts of animal cruelty a federal felony was unanimously passed in the United States House of Representatives on Tuesday. The bipartisan Preventing Animal Cruelty and Torture Act gives federal authorities a new set of tools to hunt down suspected animal abusers who move across state lines. The bill expands on a prior law that outlawed the creation and distribution of animal abuse videos that are obscene in nature, but didn't expressly prohibit violence toward animals. The Mind Unleashed reports the PACT Act intends to close that loophole. The bill was introduced by Republican Representative Vern Buchanan of Florida and Democratic Representative Ted Deutsch, also of Florida. In February, a bipartisan group of senators introduced the Senate companion to the bill. According to a fact sheet from Deutsch's office, the law would make it a serious federal crime for any person to intentionally engage in the crushing, burning, drowning, suffocating, and impaling of animals, along with any other acts of intentional animal cruelty toward non-human animals, birds, reptiles, or amphibians. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Google has officially confirmed that they've achieved quantum supremacy. While the breakthrough leaked last month, the company provided new details with the publication of a new article in the scientific journal Nature. The company says their 54-qubit Sycamore processor was able to perform a calculation in 200 seconds, which would have taken the world's most powerful supercomputer 10,000 years. Quantum supremacy has raised concerns that the company will be able to crack the strongest encryption, including the blockchain. That said, ex-Bitcoin core developer Peter Todd called the achievement a primitive type of quantum computing that is nowhere near breaking cryptography. Some scientists have likened the breakthrough to the Wright brothers' first plane flight in 1903, as proof that something is really possible, even though it may be years before it can fulfill its potential, according to a report from the New York Times. A high-level Livingston Parish, Louisiana Sheriff's Office deputy, who commanded the SWAT team, has been arrested for unspeakable crimes against children. 44-year-old Dennis Perkins and his 34-year-old wife, Cynthia Perkins, are accused of multiple counts of child rape and the production of child pornography. On Wednesday, the couple was arrested after a months-long criminal probe headed up by the Louisiana Attorney General's office. After the arrest, footage of the alleged child rapist was posted to Twitter, showing him being led into prison in shackles. The Free Thought Project reports that, according to a source close to the case, the couple was seen in videos and photos committing unspeakable acts with naked children. When police attempted to arrest Dennis Denny Perkins, he reportedly knew they were coming, so he tossed his cell phone in a nearby river and fled. The move also led to the top cop being charged with obstruction of justice on top of the child rape counts. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
The Dick Cheney Vice Presidential Library opens in a pitch-dark, sulfurous underground cave, and a seedless watermelon is coming to grips with the fact it'll never be able to have kids. This is the Onion Week in Review. Following a litany of tragedies occurring over the past year, a report this week from scientists at Princeton University confirmed that 90% of the Earth's atmosphere is now made up of thoughts and prayers. Researchers confirmed that with the rise of tragic events occurring all across the world each and every day, the Earth's atmosphere is 7% nitrogen, 3% oxygen, and 90% emotional pleas begging for everything to be okay. In other news, a new study finds nothing that will actually convince you to change your lifestyle, so just forget it. UMass Dartmouth is beginning to regret offering a course in applied domestic terrorism, and a sparrow thinks it might have caught the bird flu after puking seeds all morning. Stay tuned after the video for a brief tear in the fabric of space-time, offering a glimpse at next week's Onion Review. And keep checking theonion.com for more.
This is the Onion News Network.
It's Free Talk Live, and you can bring up what you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Bring up anything that's on your mind. And with you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
Nobody.
And Chris.
Don't forget, you can join us online at freetalklive.com, where the features are totally free. You want archives that go back for more than a decade? We got them over at freetalklive.com. Although there have been some problems over the last week. And thank you to the listeners that brought this to my attention, because I don't download our podcast. I just upload the files for the podcast.
Oh, right.
So I don't know necessarily if something breaks until someone tells me. And so a few different folks reached out this week that when they were downloading directly from the website, and I don't know if this affected podcast downloaders too, but anybody downloading direct was getting a file that was not the typical file name with Free Talk Live. Normally it's like FTL and then the date.mp3. This file name was just this generic SoundCloud download with no extension on it.
Weird.
And if you renamed it to .mp3, it would play. So it was the actual file, but they're not serving it properly. So I had to reach out to SoundCloud this week, and apparently their tech support isn't really tech support. It's like some low tier support who then they decided they didn't know what to do, and so they forwarded it to their actual tech support department. So it has yet to be resolved at this point. So bear with us, and in the meantime, appreciate if you just rename the file name to .mp3. You should be all right. In the meantime, so we were going to get into the latest on Facebook and the absolute shuddering fear that the statists are in over this Facebook currency, this Libra idea, which isn't the best idea as far as cryptocurrency is concerned. We have a lot of reservations about this thing. Number one, that it's not actually a cryptocurrency.
Yeah, I'm amazed because it's effectively centralizing cryptocurrency. So there's an ability at that point for government to have control over it too.
Well, the thing that it would be good for is if everybody who had PayPal or if everybody who had Facebook and a credit card was able to put money into Libra through Facebook, they could use that as a route to get to the market. So then you could buy Bitcoin for Libra. You could buy Bitcoin Cash for Libra.
Would you be able
presuming
to?
those are available outside of Facebook.
Well, if Libra, as I understand it, Libra is an actual cryptocurrency.
That's what they're claiming.
In that you would have a separate
It
wallet.
doesn't exist, though.
Yeah.
Is it one way, or can it be reversed? Because again, this isn't a normal cryptocurrency.
Well, it's supposedly going to have some aspects of decentralization and open source, but it's not really going to be decentralized because they only have 21 or whatever the number is. They have a certain number of limited sort of validators or nodes on the network.
It's more like
centrally
controlled. It's interesting because it's in a truly decentralized network. I think it's probably fair to say that the government wouldn't be able to control it, but because it's only pseudo decentralized and it limits the number of organizations that can participate, the government has effective ability to control all of them.
Yeah,
so it's
the government can identify all of them.
Exactly.
It's a few dozen of them. So, Visa. Well, I think Visa pulled out, but there was a few of them that pulled out.
I think
Visa,
there was like 20 of them.
MasterCard. There were like 21 or 28 or something like that.
Yeah, 20, 30 of them.
But then Facebook came out with an announcement after Visa and PayPal and MasterCard and Stripe, I think, pulled out. Facebook had like some sort of a summit or whatever where they brought people together who were interested to talk about the Libra thing, and they then announced that they had another 100 organizations that wanted to join on, because it's $10 million, by the way, to come in as one of these nodes on the network. And then I guess you get to be like a voter in how the thing is governed. So Facebook is claiming, well, we came up with the idea, but it's not really ours because we're turning it over to this governance model of all these companies. These, Uber, for instance, is one of them. These mega corporations who are going to be sort of in charge of it. But regardless of our critiques of Facebook's, plan, because they don't really know what it's going to be quite yet. There was another story that I had in show prep where the CEO of Facebook's wallet service called Calibra, which will be their official wallet for the Libra currency, has been talking about how Facebook could use various fiat-based stablecoins instead of the initially proposed token. He spoke at a banking seminar, the man's named David Marcus, saying the main goal of the project was to create a more efficient payment system and that it wasn't opposed to looking at alternative approaches, talking about having a series of Facebook stablecoins, like a dollar stablecoin, euro stablecoin. And I like putting quotes around stablecoin because you're still basing it on a fiat money, which is going to lose value.
Well, the thing is, it is stable against something. Nothing is stable in value. Gold isn't stable in value.
Right.
Silver isn't stable in value, except that an ounce of silver is worth an ounce of silver, an ounce of gold is worth an ounce of gold.
That's true.
So it's you can only be stable relative to something else.
Yeah, it's more like a backed coin than it is. I mean, it's even not really backed because it's backed by paper money from the fiat. Fiat coin's probably a better term.
Well, the thing is that doesn't
like that
describe all stable coins, because there are also stable coins which are backed by silver. Backed by gold, and those are not fiat.
Those are much better.
So.
Yeah.
Maybe only those should be called stable coins.
Right.
But I think it's appropriate to call a USDT stable coin a stable coin. You just have to know that stable coin means stable against something else, and you have to know what it's stable against. You can't be stable against both silver and dollars when the value of silver in terms of dollars changes.
It's I think as long as people understand that stablecoin doesn't mean doesn't make it a cryptocurrency, I think it's probably okay. But it's I think a lot of people will think stablecoin is that just because it's a stablecoin, it is a cryptocurrency, and that's not really true.
Story from CNET.com: Mark Zuckerberg, the head of Facebook, faced 6 hours of sometimes scathing questions on Wednesday as dozens of lawmakers picked apart Facebook's business practices, its many past scandals, and broad lack of consumer trust in the world's biggest social network. The hearing before the U.S. House Committee on Financial Services was slated to focus on Libra, a cryptocurrency Facebook spearheaded and hopes will become a form of global digital money. It's expected to launch in the first half of 2020. However, the event almost immediately spiraled into a broad indictment of Facebook. California Representative Maxine Waters, the committee chairwoman, said to open the hearing, quote, "As I have examined Facebook's various problems, I have come to the conclusion that it would be beneficial for all if Facebook concentrates on addressing its many existing deficiencies and failures before proceeding any further on the Libra project." And I just love it when government finds problems in the marketplace, right? Like as though the government goons aren't a problem themselves, that they're not rife with corruption and ridiculous waste and violence.
Yeah, it's like the gun buyback thing, you know. Before you sell your gun to the government, do a background check on them because they're multiple murderers and they really shouldn't have guns.
Absolutely.
Right?
So, I mean, this hypocrite, this Maxine Waters, then castigated Facebook for its failure to diversify its workforce, a lawsuit against the company for enabling housing discrimination, and an ongoing antitrust investigation into the company. She added that several lawmakers have called for a moratorium on the Libra project until Congress can evaluate it. The commentary set the tone for a largely adversarial hearing that saw many mostly Democratic lawmakers use their time to scold the billionaire executive about his company's failings, including serving as a place for hate groups to organize, facilitating child exploitation, allowing Russian election interference, failing to prevent data breaches, and okaying misleading political ads.
Somebody needs to explain to these people that, you know, Facebook is not the police, right? Like, it's not law enforcement. There are already people being paid to investigate crime. Facebook is not being paid to investigate crime.
Several Republicans offered more sympathetic comments, commending Zuckerberg for creating a successful business and working to innovate in the financial world. Still, the force and tenor of questions offered a stark contrast to Zuckerberg's testimony before Congress last year, in which he emerged largely unscathed as elected officials appeared to be clueless about how Facebook worked. This time, lawmakers were better prepared with more sophisticated questions and a more combative posture. One representative, Nydia Velasquez from New York, a Democrat, said, quote, "Facebook's internal motto was for a long time, move fast and break things. Mr. Zuckerberg, we do not want to break the international monetary system."
Oh, wow.
They believe that Facebook's Libra so-called cryptocurrency is going to break the entire international monetary system.
She
We're
does
coming up
not
here.
understand what that means.
This is
at
Free
all.
Talk Live.
Business owners, you want more customers? Accept cryptocurrencies. There's people all around you just waiting to spend money at your store. If only you would take it. I know, you've been waiting till someone else makes it easy. Well, good news. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com adds Bitcoin to your point of sale. Totally free. Use the same equipment you already have, now with Bitcoin. And unlike credit cards, there's no fees. Let the guys at HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com bring new customers to your store. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
Do you want to join the ultra-wealthy by using a 160-year-old investing program that is no longer exclusive? Keep your funds fluid and 100% tax-free for you or your heirs with no contribution limits and without ever losing your principal with Fortune DNA. Learn how to avoid the volatility of the market and put certainty back into your investing future. Join us now at dna.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at dna.freetalklive.com.
Balance of nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. I don't take any supplementation, but I take Balance of Nature because I've seen it in my lab and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true, and it's only natural.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we'll take off an additional $25 on your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468 751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. You can hop into one of those if you want to sound like you're sitting here in the studio with us. And, of course, you can join us online anytime you want over at freetalklive.com. Free Talk Live is brought to you by local.bitcoin.com. That is where you can buy and sell Bitcoin Cash on a global trading platform that actually respects your privacy, meaning you don't have to show identification to the website in order to create an account. That really sets the site apart. There used to be a site that was like that, but they've cracked down. The competition to local.bitcoin.com cracked down this year on their accounts, and now there's ridiculous ID requirements on the other site. And so I think people are going to be looking for another alternative, and local.bitcoin.com has it, so you don't have to show them ID. In fact, your communications between buyers and sellers are also encrypted. That's local.bitcoin.com.
I sure hope so.
Yes, they are. As we go to your calls and thoughts, you can bring up whatever you want. Coming up, we got more on Facebook and what is going on with this Facebook Libra cryptocurrency. But first, we're going to go to Mouth-Breathing Dullard. He is on the line on the Discord server. And by the way,
I can't hear you, Mr. Dullard.
Nobody
so
is stepping
I don't
off,
care.
is stepping away from the show. He does not want to listen to you. Go ahead. Hello?
Oh, you mean who does he call a coward and a hypocrite? The fat slob who challenged me to get in the ring with him? I'll do it anytime. Why doesn't he take me up on it and come down here?
Well, it's kind of silly to ask someone questions who's not listening to you. So did you have something else you wanted to say?
It is silly for somebody to call anybody a coward and a hypocrite and then do just that.
Is this James?
This is James,
He's a fat slob.
Yeah, this is what he does. He
fat,
calls and
ugly
insults
slob.
people. And if that's all you got, we're just going to get rid of you. So he's gone. 855-450 free. You know, if he had something to say.
And I'm back.
If he had something to say besides just insulting people, then I would have kept him on.
Yeah,
but that's all he's got.
Dude is content free. That's why I'm not going to listen to him anymore. He's.
Yeah.
I've never heard the guy get to the end of a freaking sentence.
You know, it does kind of bring up a question of if somebody continuously calls back, but they don't actually say anything, is it even worth having them on, right? Like,
yeah.
This
isn't the abuse room. This is the argument room.
Well, I kind of like putting people on with different views than myself, but I don't
sure.
necessarily know that if you're not actually expressing different views, you're just going on and, insulting people. Not quite the same thing, and it is a talk show, so if you're just going to insult and not actually have a discussion of some kind,
if the guy had a thought in his head, I'd address it and tell him why it was wrong.
Right.
But
it's rarely in recent days he has tried to say things that are different besides just straight up insults.
Okay.
But it doesn't last more than like a moment, because then he's right back into his insults and right back into same old.
Yeah.
But anyway, we continue here. We've got Captain PDA on the line here. Now, I didn't screen this call, so I don't know if you're even there. Captain PDA, are you with us? Oh, hang on one second. Now, that was my bad. Say that again.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, we have you. Where are you calling from tonight?
Houston,
Okay,
Texas.
welcome. You're on Free Talk Live.
How's it going?
You're on the air.
All right. So I was just wondering what y'all's thoughts were if Facebook actually would have the intentions on selling their crypto as an
Say what? You just cut off there.
I think he said as an ICO.
As what?
Yeah, as an ICO.
Meaning
For
that
initial
that the
offering.
average person could somehow invest into the Facebook Libra?
Or even if they were to have an initial coin offering instead of just implementing the system.
I mean, it's 10 million to set up a node, so you would have some sort of ICO to fund a node.
I don't think. Well, first of all, I think what Facebook. Okay, let's reset just a moment here. The whole ICO thing stands for initial coin offering. There was a craze of these things in 2017. Then the government cracked down, and of course, a lot of them failed and were scams or whatever. But the government cracked down and said these are what they call securities. I suspect Facebook doesn't want to cross into that particular territory of securities, and Facebook wants to have all of the benefit of whatever interest accrues to their currency without having to pay out to average people, would be my guess.
Yeah, and really an ICO, like an IPO, which is an initial public offering for a company.
There's some differences,
it's usually a way of raising money. Facebook has plenty of cash, so they're not going to go with the traditional ICO.
Yeah.
And an ICO one would think would be at a deep discount normally compared to what the thing is worth, and
or
they
what
don't
they hope
have
it'll
to
be
do
worth.
that.
Yeah. I mean, it's what's interesting about the ICOs. ICOs aren't like they're not a investment in the IP. Like an IPO is an investment, right? An ICO isn't really that. It's just like giving money to somebody.
Well,
you get coins in return for the money, right?
Yeah.
So if the coins go up, you make money.
The coins aren't necessarily they don't give you the rights to anything like an IPO would.
It's not the same for sure. Captain, go ahead.
Yeah, no. So my thought process is like, I wouldn't assume Facebook would come out with the coin and say, hey, there's an infinite amount. So I would assume that there's a set amount that they're going to try to sell to show, hey, this is the trend of people purchasing our coin. So there's going to be the value to it. So I would assume maybe there would be an initial offering for people to be able to purchase it. But at that point, I mean, I wouldn't even know if, and that's just seeing what y'all's thoughts would be.
Well, it's too early to say anyway, because Facebook hasn't even figured out what they want this to be quite yet. They don't know if it's going to be a basket of currencies, which was its original proposal, where it would have a bunch of different fiat currencies sort of combined together somehow into whatever price that would be.
Well, and they said more recently, Facebook said something to the effect of, it's going to be mostly US dollars.
Well, they said that they could go with different stable coins. So they would have one for the
they've also
dollar,
said
they would
that
have
too,
one for the euro,
but
they would have one for
one of the
whatever.
defenses that Mark Zuckerberg, I believe, made was that it's going to be mostly US dollars.
In order to appease the U.S. regulators.
Yeah, like that's what his response was when he was testifying.
See, what makes sense would be for them to just do what Keybase did and build a Stellar wallet into your Facebook account, not even worry about issuing their own coin. You know,
Yeah, that doesn't give them as much control.
No.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons it's a better idea.
Captain PDA, other thoughts you want to share?
Well, I guess Facebook wouldn't want to lose the control. So
No.
I always think that maybe the best option would be to just be able to sell and trade it between Facebook accounts, and then you just encrypt your account with a wallet and then like have a 2-step verification program or something. And then at that point, you'd be able to validate the transaction, because if they have 1 billion people on Facebook, then you have a global market of trade that you can immediately put into. And then if you could just acquire it however you want, and then you could just trade it on a third-party system, then at that point you could do it kind of like an ERC token alongside of something else. But you would also have to give up control of the trade aspect. So I couldn't see Facebook trying to do that.
Captain PDA, thank you for the call. Thanks for sharing that with us tonight. Also, there is something called Open Libra.
That's right.
Have you heard about this?
Little bit.
It's going to be a competitor to the Libra. We'll tell you about that on the way as well. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Bring up whatever you want here. It's Free Talk Live. I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at marketfreetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. Marketfreetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, marketfreetalklive.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being. despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
Yep, it's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number for you is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Take control of the airwaves here. We're talking about the Facebook coin, the Libra, which, according to one New York Democrat at an inquisition of Mark Zuckerberg in D.C., she believes Facebook could break the international monetary system with their Libra cryptocurrency.
Well, it needs breaking.
I know. It's why I say I'm not a huge fan of Facebook, but I got to say I'm cheering them on this. I can't say I'm going to go out of my way to acquire any Libra, but if the governments are so afraid of this thing, they must be doing something right.
Yeah.
It's kind of the feeling I've got.
Do you think it could be a briar patch thing?
What does that mean?
Where there was a book, I can't remember. I think it was Tales of the South or something. And Brer Rabbit kept saying to Brer Bear, "Oh, don't throw me in the briar patch. Please don't throw me in the briar patch." And then
he could get away from
he
the bear.
gets thrown in the briar patch, and he says, "I was born in the briar patch."
That's right.
By the way, I want to let you know about Liberty.menu. If you are an individual who rejects the initiation of force and agrees to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle, then you belong over at Liberty.menu, where you can create map entries, and they can be for your business or your event that you want to promote or the digital content that you're the creator of. Liberty.menu is a tool for the voluntarist and Liberty community, and it's super useful. It's also free, so why not? If you want some free publicity for the things that you do, get on over to Liberty.menu, and you can use code FTL. That'll get you a Free Talk Live listener badge. We can't give you a discount because the site's free. So again, it's Liberty.menu. So Representative Nydia Velázquez said on Wednesday at a hearing of when they were questioning Zuckerberg that she believes that Facebook could break the entire international monetary system. A Republican state rep U.S. rep from Ohio, Steve Stivers, argued that a payment system like Libra could be beneficial for people in countries with unstable currencies, but he noted that Zuckerberg may have bitten off more than he can chew, trying to make a new digital currency to operate this system. Well, let him make that decision for himself. Okay, if he fails, then he fails.
You're talking about a company that has a ton of money.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like seriously, like how could you possibly have bitten off more than you can chew? You can afford to hire all the people.
That's right.
Who are writing cryptocurrency software and
they've hired a bunch of people.
Skills, right?
Yeah.
Like the idea that you're biting off more than you can chew just sounds absolutely insane. I bet you Facebook has more. I know they have more technical expertise to do that sort of thing than the government has. I mean, seriously, right?
Right. Governments sort of talk about cryptocurrencies. They sort of would love the idea of doing one, but they don't know what they're doing, and they don't have the ability to accomplish it.
When the IRS tracks down users, they're using a third-party application that was developed not by the government, by a private entity,
company.
Right? Yeah. So the idea that
Libra has faced a rocky start, says CNN.com. Critics worry it may become a channel for funding terrorism and laundering money, an issue members of Congress hammered repeatedly during the hearing. Several governments are concerned Facebook is using Libra to skirt regulations and create a rival currency to the dollar, yen, or other established national currencies. Well, yeah, good. That's what they ought to do.
The U.S. dollar already has competition. Why are you so afraid? Unless the dollar is that bad.
Because the dollar is that bad, but the only competition until Bitcoin were other government monies, right? And so now you've got a major company that wants to do its own
and that's why the
currency.
Government's afraid, is because they know that government currencies are terrible. And this is the only thing that is actually competitive with it.
Well, it's not the only thing. Bitcoin is competitive with it. It's just this is the one they can target. Well, they can't go after Bitcoin CEO because there is no Bitcoin CEO.
Fair enough. I just meant cryptocurrency in general, but yeah.
Well, right now, cryptocurrency in general is worth what? 300 billion? Let's get a current coin market cap estimate here. So coinmarketcap.com does a good job of tracking the top, top 3,000 now. It used to be 2,000, then 2,500, and now 3,000 tracked currencies over at coinmarketcap.com.
So what's the number?
The market cap right now, $251 billion US dollars is the value of all of those 3,000 cryptocurrencies combined. Now, what will Libra be, when it first launches? Hard to say. But right now, several governments are concerned. Earlier this month, the Libra Association lost 7 of its founding members, including Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal. Announced in June, Libra is a so-called stablecoin, a form of cryptocurrency backed by other assets to supposedly prevent wild swings in value. The association initially had 28 prospective members, each of which was planned to have ponied up $10 million US dollars to fund the project. And by the way, $10 million for Visa and MasterCard is like chump change.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably like 1 minute's worth of fees for Visa, if that.
Yeah, cryptocurrency is still a small, very, very small relative to, the credit card market space or marketplace. It's like, in terms of what actually gets spent on credit cards, I can only imagine how many trillions of dollars, relative to a $250 billion market cap is not. I mean, it's nothing.
Looking to allay concerns about Libra, Zuckerberg's prepared remarks for the hearing focused on using the digital currency to help people without bank accounts, making it easier and cheaper for the so-called unbanked to transfer money. With Libra, he said he wanted to make transferring money as cheap and effortless as text messaging, that's a good vision. I mean,
that's economic prosperity.
Yeah, and of course, people in Congress don't care about the unbanked because those people tend to not vote.
Well, they should care. This is the crazy thing. They should care about the unbanked because when you enable people to do economics, increase their standard of living, they also have
that
the opportunity.
Would increase the tax base for sure.
Right. It also gives them opportunity as business people to profit off of this new market, basically.
Well, on a global basis, though, I mean, they can't capture tax money from people in other countries.
No, but obviously each of these politicians have financial and business interests, and they're not necessarily limited to the United States. So, and even to the extent that their interests might be limited to the United States, by increasing the world market, basically it will remove investment or it'll open up opportunities in the United States to profit because others will invest overseas or profit from overseas instead.
Yeah, but then again, the government benefits from poverty. They need people to be poor so that people think they need them.
Right.
Yeah, and I understand. Like, I think you make a good point. I think in some respects it's contradicting the interests of both the people and the politicians themselves.
Well, of course the government would do that.
It doesn't necessarily mean that the politicians see that or they're willing to accept it in order to have some sort of benefit at a political level.
Zuckerberg tried to appeal to their whatever sense of decency these scum government people would have, saying, quote, "I'm trying to use the position I have to do things I think are going to make the world better." He says, "to improve people's lives, and I would hope that is what you would want me to do," unquote. Zuckerberg said Facebook won't be involved in Libra's launch unless it gets U.S. approval. So he is literally waiting until these government goons tell him that he's okay, which is pathetic, but that's the way it is. He's also pushed for the U.S.
But he has to do that due to the size of his company.
And
He's
it's
got
based
a
in the
lot
US.
that they can take.
That's right.
It would be interesting if he had done this, but not done it through Facebook. Although I guess Facebook is kind of the launching platform that they need to make it work. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, he could have just adopted, as nobody was saying, an existing cryptocurrency platform and promoted it. And then
there's plenty of them.
And then the government could not have done anything about that because even if they stopped Facebook from interacting with that with whatever cryptocurrency, they couldn't stop the crypto itself.
Well, I think
he hasn't listed anything that Libra is going to do that can't be done with existing cryptocurrency.
Correct.
Well, I think the idea was the stability of it. Most of these other cryptocurrencies.
Stellar has stablecoins.
Yeah.
Okay, but
they could have issued their token on the Stellar blockchain,
and they're backed by IBM and a lot of other companies. So there's a lot of money behind Stellar.
Zuckerberg said Facebook won't be involved unless he gets U.S. approval and would go so far as walking away from the Libra Association if it moved forward without that approval. He also pushed for the U.S. to innovate with cryptocurrencies, invoking China's work as a warning, saying, quote, if America doesn't lead on this, others will, adding that it would be much harder to apply U.S. regulations to a global currency created by China.
This is the best argument he's got.
There's more coming up
That's
here.
the best argument for a Chinese crypto.
Yeah,
Well,
Chinese
wasn't there
competition.
news today about, or within the last 24 hours, that the Chinese president had said nice things about crypto?
Yeah, the
More coming
Chinese
up.
might be getting into it.
It's Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Joel Wallach, veterinarian and naturopathic physician. The Dead Doctors Don't Lie guy with an important message. Take charge of your health. Do not continue to blindly follow the system that has failed us all. I appreciate GCN listeners because you're open-minded and intelligent. If our system is so great, why is it that the United States, the USA, ranks nearly 60th worldwide in longevity and #1 in obesity? All the while we spend more money than all the other countries combined annually on unnecessary healthcare procedures and toxic drugs. It doesn't take much to get on track, not with the government or pharmaceutical companies, but rather you in control of your own health with a basic understanding of nutrition and supplementation. FDI Longevity has the finest quality health, sports, and energy supplements available. GCN listeners are invited to join our team of people who want to stay healthy well into old age. We are currently looking for specialists to represent FDI Longevity and Save America. To buy products at wholesale prices or join our business team, go to gcnteam.com. That's gcnteam.com. Support GCN. Get healthy.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can take control of the airwaves here. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. And also, and that's for those of you that want to sound really awesome when you're on the air. We also have the regular phone lines at 855-450-FREE. Joining you tonight, it's Ian here.
Nobody.
And Chris.
Don't forget to check out Nobody on his website, electnobody.com. That is where you can learn more about Nobody's run for governor here in New Hampshire, which you just kicked off a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So check that out. And then, of course, thinkpenguin.com for all your computing hardware needs. You care about privacy, you love Linux, you ought to check out thinkpenguin.com. You guys got some great products over there. And also don't forget about the AMP program as well. That is where you can go to help support what we do here on Free Talk Live. And that's what David R. Jeffries has done. He is a Free Talk Live Gold amplifier, which means that David is contributing $10 per month to the AMP program. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. The idea is that if you like what we do here, talking about freedom and peace and cryptocurrency here 7 nights a week on Free Talk Live, then please join the AMP program because it helps us get on more radio stations around the United States and brings new internet listeners on board as well. So we appreciate your efforts and thank you for amping the show. If you have done it in the past, come on back. If you are currently an amplifier, thank you. And if you are thinking about doing it, well, but go ahead and pull the trigger. You can use PayPal, you can use Bitcoin BTC, and you can use your credit card over at amp.freetalklive.com. Let's go to the phones here, and then we'll find out a little bit more about this Open Libra, which I saw a headline about recently, but I hadn't taken a really much time to look into it. It sounded interesting, but Olivia is on the line first in Arizona. Olivia, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, Ian. Hey, Chris. And hey, nobody. I just wanted to say that Facebook is so overrated. I really don't understand the appeal. Actually, it's funny because just a couple of days ago, I logged back into my MySpace from high school.
Really?
And it still has all my pictures. Yeah. It was really nice. It was like this, they saved them all, and it's like this time capsule. I saw all my friends, and yeah, it was pretty cool.
Wow, I didn't know they would even still have those old accounts.
Right?
Figured by now they would have wiped them out, so I wonder if I still have my account there. I don't know.
You can check it out. Yeah, take a trip down memory lane. But another thing I wanted to mention was since Whit's feeling so insecure about his looks that he wants to insult other people, did you know that there's an infrared light that basically is the opposite of tanning? It like de-ages you and stimulates collagen production in your skin. It's pretty amazing. I just read a scientific study about that. So yeah,
Really?
get you an infrared and leave nobody alone. I think nobody is beautiful, by the way. He's like, I just imagine him being cast as like a really wise, kindly wizard on like TV or something. I don't know.
You got kind of like a wizard outfit on right now with the
I've got my Wormtown hoodie on, which is the symbol is actually a worm in a wizard's robe.
Yeah, he's got like a wizard hat too.
Yeah.
I wondered who that character was. Oh my gosh, I'm going to look that up. Wormtown?
Yeah, it's a concert. It's a musical.
Yeah, it's a music festival that takes place annually down in Massachusetts. If you like the Grateful Dead and Pink Floyd, it's the place to be.
Very cool. Olivia, anything else you want to share with us tonight?
Yeah, on Instagram, I kind of hope y'all get an Instagram because it's such an easy, quick way to share photos. But
yeah, the problem is we don't take photos. You know, we're like a radio show. So
that's true.
I have a personal Instagram, and on occasion I will post to it, but it's probably not more often than once every few weeks. I just don't think about taking pictures of my own life. When I was traveling in Japan, I did take more photos than normal because it's a totally different place, and there were actually things that I thought were interesting that people might also find interesting. But like, I don't consider my normal life to be particularly interesting, so it's very rare that I'll take pictures of it.
I don't know pictures so much, but although you come into contact with interesting stuff all the time. I think you do post pictures, probably not to Instagram, but like
rarely.
the bit mugs or whatever, and just little things here and there.
The bit mugs, yeah. I don't know if I posted that one to Instagram. I
don't know about Instagram, but like on Telegram, you probably did, and certain other places.
Well, the thing is, I have mine hooked up to where if I post one to Instagram, it posts it to my Telegram, and it posts it to
or like Mastodon or something like that.
Mastodon, it posts it to all those places. So I have them all linked together.
You know, it might have been Mastodon that I saw it, but yeah, certainly I think you post pictures, just not on Instagram.
Yeah, and I
maybe.
wouldn't want to invite people to join Instagram because it's a Facebook product. So
I
that's
didn't know
another
that.
reason. Like, I'm there just because it's convenient. It's a decent photo posting system, but that's one of the reasons I have it linked to every other thing that I do, the Mastodon included, is because I don't expect that it'll last. It's Facebook, so.
Yeah, I mean, to answer your question, the draw to me of Facebook is there's a lot of people.
That's
on
what people
it.
keep saying,
You know,
but I don't know if you can reach them.
The problem is that, my account, of course, doesn't reach anybody because they've locked it down to be as silent as possible. So I only
You've been
see
banned a few times.
the same half dozen people all day.
Yeah.
It's like having a conversation with yourself. I mean, what
Almost.
good is that?
And thank you, Olivia, for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. You can go there and argue with people in Facebook groups. That's a thing that I used to do on Facebook. Open Libra. According to OpenLibra.io, it is a technology platform and currency for financial inclusion, an alternative to Facebook's Libra, which places an emphasis on open governance, meaning that Open Libra places an emphasis on open governance and economic decentralization.
How is that different, though, from other cryptocurrencies? Like
Well, they're
Dash
they're
or-
riffing on the Libra, and that's the only thing that makes a difference.
Okay.
The Open Libra project is a loose collective of individuals. They have no association members, partners, employees, or leaders. They say we are individuals from some of the best-in-class blockchain products and nonprofit foundations working on a crypto-native solution regarding Libra. They say our strategy is to build on Libra's strengths, but extend it where needed. Open Libra aims to be technically and financially compatible, embracing what is powerful, but also replacing what's concerning in a non-adversarial way. So it sounds like they want to somehow be compatible with Libra. It says, because in parentheses after compatible, they say Libra coin in parentheses. So I'm not sure how that's going to work.
I had the feeling that like their aim was sort of stability, which kind of would make sense in an open fashion, which I can get on board with. The only problem is I don't think it's actually going to be stable like the Libra is. But I don't know.
We'll see. Of course, there's that the new DAI currency, that DAI, which is attempting to be a stable coin without centralization.
That does sound
which is
very interesting to me. It doesn't sound like it's as stable as most of your stable coins from what I think Duke or somebody else said, but still sounds very interesting to me.
Facebook and partners, they say, okay, next section here is what are the problems with Facebook's approach? So they say Facebook and partners are creating a digital currency and banking ecosystem which will reach 4 billion humans. Their goal is to replace the existing financial infrastructure and compete with traditional banks and central banks across the world. As designed, the Libra platform will be distributed but not decentralized, will require permissions to interact with, will not have privacy guarantees, and will be run by a plutocracy. A number of features of Libra are useful and perhaps transformative to the most vulnerable, but their stated plans may lead to worrying outcomes. Like, the Libra coin would be governed by a close group of corporations, or rather closed group of corporations. People around the world, even if not Facebook users, will be constituents of the Libra network, however, will have no direct recourse to the policies of the association. If Libra becomes the internet's central bank, the need for more inclusive form of governance becomes urgent.
And a counter argument to that, though, is that there's competition in the marketplace, right?
There
So
is.
if Libra if they don't do, if the people who are in control of Libra don't do what's in the user's interests,
they'll lose.
They'll lose out to the competition in the marketplace.
Well, they're counting on the market penetration of Facebook to get this thing out there, right? The idea being that Facebook has billions of users, so that's a good starting point, whereas every other crypto in the world starts from zero.
Yeah, we're close to it, sure.
Value, they say, another critique they say of the official Libra is that value flows to the founders. Value created within the Libra ecosystem will be captured by the few corporations that are already part of the consortium. To date, Facebook has no plans for including more partners in the consortium or redistributing the proceeds with more actors within their network. So just saying, pointing out that you don't benefit. If you hold Libra, it's not going to go up in value. You're not going to get...
Yeah, this is some of the same arguments can be made against Bitcoin, actually, because you have a very small number of people mining today, or are really able to mine today. It's very concentrated, if you know what I'm saying, and those people benefit from that mining. So
I like the idea of CPU mined coins because that spreads out the ability to mine. And yeah, right now mining is pretty much I can't imagine why they want to outlaw mining in China, because that's one of the few places where you can actually mine
economically.
Probably because it's more costly to produce electricity than it's discounted though. Electricity.
You think it's subsidized there?
I'm almost sure of it. It's China, man.
Surveillance finance. They say one's ability to engage financially will be potentially determined by their social graph and online activity. They do say they think that Facebook will succeed in their goal despite pushback from the states, but they want to create an alternative to have their own options. So we're going to keep an eye on Open Libra. It sounds interesting. There's obviously nothing there, at this point that you can use because, well, Libra itself doesn't exist yet. So we'll see you tomorrow night. Online in the meantime, you can join us at freetalklive.com.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years. With experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
The latest episode of Questioning Authority is next after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,503, silver at $17.80, and Bitcoin is trading at $7,474. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, a bill that would make malicious acts of animal cruelty a federal felony was unanimously passed in the United States House of Representatives on Tuesday. The bipartisan Preventing Animal Cruelty and Torture Act gives federal authorities a new set of tools to hunt down suspected animal abusers who move across state lines. The bill expands on a prior law that outlawed the creation and distribution of animal abuse videos that are obscene in nature, but didn't expressly prohibit violence toward animals. The Mind Unleashed reports the PACT Act intends to close that loophole. The bill was introduced by Republican Representative Vern Buchanan of Florida and Democratic Representative Ted Deutsch, also of Florida. In February, a bipartisan group of senators introduced the Senate companion to the bill. According to a fact sheet from Deutsch's office, the law would make it a serious federal crime for any person to intentionally engage in the crushing, burning, drowning, suffocating, and impaling of animals, along with any other acts of intentional animal cruelty toward non-human animals, birds, reptiles, or amphibians. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Google has officially confirmed that they've achieved quantum supremacy. While the breakthrough leaked last month, the company provided new details with the publication of a new article in the scientific journal Nature. The company says their 54-qubit Sycamore processor was able to perform a calculation in 200 seconds, which would have taken the world's most powerful supercomputer 10,000 years. Quantum supremacy has raised concerns that the company will be able to crack the strongest encryption, including the blockchain. That said, ex-Bitcoin Core developer Peter Todd called the achievement a primitive type of quantum computing that is nowhere near breaking cryptography. Some scientists have likened the breakthrough to the Wright brothers' first plane flight in 1903, as proof that something is really possible, even though it may be years before it can fulfill its potential, according to a report from the New York Times. A high-level Livingston Parish, Louisiana Sheriff's Office deputy, who commanded the SWAT team, has been arrested for unspeakable crimes against children. 44-year-old Dennis Perkins and his 34-year-old wife, Cynthia Perkins, are accused of multiple counts of child rape and the production of child pornography. On Wednesday, the couple was arrested after a months-long criminal probe headed up by the Louisiana Attorney General's office. After the arrest, footage of the alleged child rapist was posted to Twitter, showing him being led into prison in shackles. The Free Thought Project reports that, according to a source close to the case, the couple was seen in videos and photos committing unspeakable acts with naked children. When police attempted to arrest Dennis Denny Perkins, he reportedly knew they were coming, so he tossed his cell phone in a nearby river and fled. The move also led to the top cop being charged with obstruction of justice on top of the child rape counts. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
A new video game is being criticized for its harsh portrayal of barbed wire. Here's GameBite's Caitlin Torres with more.
Bethesda's The Evil Within is a nightmarish adventure that shows bloody and rusty barbed wire being used to hurt innocent people, which has angered the nation's barbed wire producers.
Barbed wire is a positive force for good. It protects our junkyards from scrap metal thieves and helps keep our cattle ranches safe from rustlers. But Bethesda thinks it's okay to ignore all the benefits of barbed wire and make it look like some scary thing used by murderers.
The designers have promised that the game will feature prominent messages extolling the virtues of the sharp steel fencing. But barbed wire groups say that it's too little too late.
If Bethesda wants to make this right, they should have the main character go behind a fence and then be safe from monsters because they can't climb over the barbed wire to get him. Now that's a game I would play.
Let's hope Bethesda listens.
Thanks, Caitlin.
This is the Onion News Network.
I don't mean to sound too nice. No, I am Canadian after all, but all right, and welcome back, everyone, to this latest edition of Pushing Authority. It's been quite a while. For those of you unaware, I've been getting over laryngitis for the past month, and it's absolutely sucked. And as soon as I get over it, now the weather outside is cold and dry, so now my voice, like, once again, I sound like Ron Perlman, but that's okay. You know, I got plenty of beverages to lubricate my vocal cords, and do we have a variety show today. I mean, I'm going to be ranging from talking about the Canadian election and at first I was just going to talk about the Canadian election, the upcoming federal one, when usually, since Canada isn't a duopoly, it's like, I think they refer to it as a two-party plus country, where you have the Liberal Party, the Conservative Party, but in this case, it's sort of like the United Kingdom, where one of the other major parties, instead of, in the United Kingdom there's Labour, which in the U.S., I guess the best equivalent to that would be the Democratic Socialists of America, but in Canada, it's called the New Democratic Party. I think I always get it mixed up between the English acronym and the French acronym, but it's called the NDP, and it's pretty much what the American Democratic Party is going to end up as if the people like AOC and Rashida Tlaib and the Justice Democrat socialist wing of the Democratic Party take over. So the United States, the American Democratic Party is like a mixture of the Liberals, which is Trudeau's party, and the NDP. I'm going to be talking about that. Going to be talking about Greta Thunberg. I guess this ties in. She's attacking Canada, but also I have an article that does a good job of exposing some of the people behind the scenes of Thunberg and her handlers. I have a mystery topic that I'm going to be very, very excited to be getting into. Let's see. Actually, there was one. I don't know if it's a video here. Oh, yeah, here he goes. But I just have a few miscellaneous stuff to begin with at the beginning of the show, just because I have audio and such, and Ian is... I don't have my board monkey at the moment, but that's okay. So here I want to talk about Donald Trump's eloquence, right? We go from George Washington, who, if you read his letters, very eloquent man. You have the founding fathers. Abraham Lincoln, he didn't go to school, right? He had like less than a year of formal education, and he was able to write these beautiful speeches. So here we go. This is Donald Trump. This is dated October 9th. He's sending a letter to the Turkish president, Tayyip Erdogan, and it's so I'm just going to begin. His Excellency Recep Tayyip Erdogan, President of the Republic of Turkey, Ankara, and this is from Trump. Dear Mr. President, let's work out a good deal. You don't want to be responsible for slaughtering thousands of people, and I don't want to be responsible for destroying the Turkish economy, and I will. I've already given you a little sample with respect to Pastor Brunson. I have worked hard to solve some of your problems. Don't let the world down. You can make a great deal. General Mazloum is willing to negotiate with you, and he's willing to make concessions that would never have been made in the past. I'm confidently enclosing a copy of his letter to me, just received. History will look upon you favorably if you get this done the right and humane way. It will look upon you forever as the devil if good things don't happen. Don't be a tough guy. Don't be a fool. I will call you later. Sincerely, Donald Trump. And this is from, in case you think this is fake or from BuzzFeed, this is from Bloomberg. And apparently, according to sources, Erdogan actually he allegedly threw the letter into the garbage when he read it. And someone here in the replies on the Twitter thread, because I've been on Twitter a lot recently, and that's why actually I'm getting a decent amount of show prep. And they ran it through a translator, a Google Translate from Turkish to English, and it's pretty much the same. It's verbatim the same. And so while we're on Trump news, while I'm somewhat just stalling to get, because usually I don't want to get into a major topic at the beginning of the hour. I have this. I don't know. Maybe the chat could tell me. Did I fall asleep last night and slip into the Twilight Zone, or did, I don't know, some DMT accidentally enter my system or something? Because this, or it could just be CNN is going what was it? There's light speed and ludicrous speed. It's going at ludicrous speed in regards to fake news. Okay, to be fair, it is an opinion piece, and it's titled "Trump is hanging Israel and Netanyahu out to dry." And so for longtime listeners of the show and viewers of the show, you ought to, obviously that sends off my bullshit meter. But let's just begin. Oops, I fucking need a drink of water. With a single stroke, President Donald Trump has effectively brought a newly resurgent and potent triad, Syria, Russia, and Iran, to the very doorstep of their declared enemy, Israel. Yeah. So Syria and Iran, yeah, obviously they have reasons to be enemies with Israel, but like Russia, especially when Putin there's like he's very close with this rabbi. It's to say Russia is Israel's enemy is I don't expect any less from CNN. The ceasefire and agreement with Turkey that Trump vaunted Thursday as a, quote, a great day for civilization has already been demonstrated to be a potentially epic challenge to one corner of the world, Israel. It was a reality only highlighted by Secretary of State Mike Pompeo breaking off from Vice President Pence's group in Ankara and taking a plane directly to Jerusalem to reassure Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu Friday morning. Suddenly, with not even a token American force remaining to monitor or check military activities of Russia, Iran, or the Syrian army main force of President Bashar al-Assad, the entire map of the Middle East was being withdrawn, and Israel left with few viable defenders. And so, I know this is a stupid question, but, I just got to ask for my own sanity. It's like, why should the American people care what goes on in the Middle East? And, first off, what is CNN, right? A mainly and explicitly leftist outlet doing advocating for the U.S. to be the policeman of the world. I remember, I'm old enough to remember back when the left was anti-war. They were against America being the world's policeman. They were, they wanted to bring the troops back home. But now Orange Man is promising to do that. Now they have to be immediately against it. It's absolutely sick and ridiculous. When the United States had even a minimal military presence in Syria, it was able to act as some restraint on aid that Iran was seeking to channel to this terrorist force, which continues to operate out of Lebanon, targeting Israel at every opportunity. In late August, anti-tank rocket attacks launched from Lebanon into northern Israel by Hezbollah led to the Israeli army responding with attacks on targets in southern Lebanon. Such effective shadow boxing had been held in check by the apparent ability of Israel to interdict Iranian efforts to supply Hezbollah with arms and munitions through Syria. Now, with Syria reclaiming a large swath of the northeastern stretch of its country that had been held by the Kurds and their American allies, and with Russian forces moving as a backdrop into the vacuum left by the U.S. departure, Israeli efforts could become exponentially more complicated. At the same time, there's even more leeway now for Syria, Russia, and Iran to work for malevolence on a Lebanese government that is striving desperately to carve out a middle road in the region. And naturally, here we go. Yes, okay. So they are talking about the in Lebanon, not the city in New Hampshire. I'm talking about the country, Lebanon.